You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
You didn't say the magic word.
Hello, Internet.
Hello.
Hold on to your butts for this episode of TADPOG.
You're dipping in my achievements.
Mine too.
Tyler and Dave and Ian play old games. This week it's Jurassic Park, baby.
I came dressed show appropriate today in my Jurassic Park t-shirt.
Yeah, I like your full raptor costume.
Yeah,
You
I did. I
out.
went full raptor wearing a Jurassic Park t-shirt.
Yeah.
I had to take the head off so the mic could hear me.
Yeah.
It's like Red wearing a Shawshank t-shirt.
It's one of those, in case since the people listening can't see me, it's an inflatable, one of those inflatable suits.
It looks really good.
Yeah,
I do have one
drove
in the
here
house.
in
Should I
it.
go put it on?
Do you? Yes.
Yeah, we got one at a yard sale for like $10. I'm like, can't pass this up.
Yeah, really.
We could make it a raptor party.
You're set for every Halloween and convention.
Yep. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the movie and of course the game.
They made a movie?
that I had never laid eyes on before. I had never even seen a single screenshot
Wow.
or had any idea about this game. I assumed. Well, we can get into that.
I mean, that's
Did
true.
you think
That's
it was
true
like the
for
Genesis
me.
version?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, that version was so dominant for a good reason.
There's a reason.
I thought that might be the case because when you were like, we talked about this, and I was like, I bet he thinks
Yep.
that they are the same game.
Yep, nailed it. Got it in one.
Well, that's the case for me on most of these games that I didn't know existed or have never laid eyes on because I was never a SNES fanboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one. This
And the
one
way the
was a
show's
game.
going, you're never gonna be.
Right. That is correct.
Correct, sir. Yeah. I wasn't so much of a SNES head, more of a Jurassic Park head. I didn't even own all of the consoles, but I knew the difference in the games.
I'm
when they came out.
prepared. I'm prepared today to talk about Jurassic Park.
Sweet.
Big fucking deal for me.
Girl,
the
same.
movie at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get there.
Cool.
We'll get there. I'm excited.
So before we get to all the Jurassic goodness, what are you guys up to?
Oh, just doing this new thing I do called watching stuff on TV.
TV, you say?
Television.
Sounds like a fad.
I don't think it's going to last. That's why I'm trying to do it as much now as I can.
It's going to rot your brain.
It will. You'll go blind if you sit too
yeah.
close
Sit
to
too
it.
close.
You don't sit too close.
Meanwhile, VR goggles.
Yeah, exactly. I finished Ozark on Netflix. That's a dark show. I really, really enjoyed it, but
Jason Bateman's good.
don't watch it if you expect it to make you happy because it's not going to do that. 4 stars. Wisdom says check it out. Started.
sad.
It is sad.
It's not Arrested Development in
Get
the Woods.
sad. No, it's a no. I started watching 3 Body Problem on Netflix. This is a new show that's come out recently.
Tony mentioned that on Discord earlier today. I had no idea what he was talking about. Thought it might have been like a work hazard or something.
I don't want to get too far. I've only 5 of 8 episodes through. It's just the one season right now.
I don't know anything about it.
It's so in a nutshell, there is a group of 5 former Oxford students that were in the physics department. They were physicists, and they were selected by this woman who was this uber good, smart badass physicist
I should say Uber driver.
to participate. Well,
Selected by an Uber driver, 3 physicists.
physicism doesn't pay very well, and so
Driving's physics.
they were contacted by her to be a part of a program and that she had been a part of since the 60s. This involves
MK Ultra.
messages to space and the potential ramifications of sending a message into space.
Right. Which we did.
And
Did we do that in the 60s?
yes, well,
Did we launch like a record or something that had etchings on it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or you could play in it, but yeah.
I think it's in Voyager. I want to say it's on the Voyager satellite that just like last 10 years or 5 years or so left our solar system, I think.
Yeah.
It's just floating out there till it hits something at this point. But
That's got to be like, I mean, an alien's got to have like real good catch, right? Because like space is big.
oh, it's enormous.
Yeah.
There's a better chance
be in a
that
submarine
Voyager
out there.
will never hit anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll go forever, but
That part's- that's neat.
the
It'll enter
odds
something's orbit before it hits something. Probably.
yeah, the odds that it will ever hit anything are minor. I mean, because space is huge. It's bigger than we can imagine. But the idea being that in the show they
Allegedly.
found a way. They found a way to send out a message even from Earth that was very, 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 very strong. Because the idea being that we can't make enough energy, or at least at the time that this was being talked about, that we couldn't make enough energy to send a signal far enough out that anyone's going to get the message anytime soon, right? And so they find a way to amplify this message, and then they get an answer. And I'm not going to say anything more, but it's so far I've really enjoyed it. This show plays host to one of the most brutal things I've ever seen in my life. I'm not going to give any details about it, but there's a scene in episode 4.
You've seen Revenge of the Nerds.
It is way worse. It is way worse. It's just, I don't know if anyone here has ever seen, anyone listening or anyone here at the table has ever seen the movie The Kingsman.
Yeah.
There's a scene in that movie where a guy slaughters a bunch of people single-handedly in a big fight in a church to the tune of Freebird by Leonard
it's like
Skinner.
the reason to see that movie, in my opinion.
It is the reason to see that movie. This scene bothered me more than that, and that was super bloody. And now this one doesn't go on like 7.5 minutes, but it's long enough. The concept of it was just really kind of holy shit moment. And I found myself, I watched that scene today and I was like, oh God, oh no, oh no. I mean, it was like crazy.
Better or worse than the, now I'm going to try to remember his name, Primley and Finley scene in The Dark Tower?
Different.
Okay.
A different kind of awful.
Yeah. King came back around on that and revisited that
Yes,
later.
he did.
And I was like, God damn it.
Yes, he did. So there's 3-body problem. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I'll give my full star rating next week after I've finished it.
Pimley.
Yeah, Pimley and
Sorry.
Finley. Speaking of The Dark Tower, I'm almost done with the book.
Yeah.
The 7th
You
book.
passed me.
I told you
You super
earlier, I had a
passed me.
run on it for a couple of days at work that
Yeah.
got me a good 4 to 5 hours per day.
That's real good.
So yeah, I jumped ahead, but
I'm super jealous.
We'll get into that hopefully before long. There was a note that I had made thinking that maybe you had gotten there, but you haven't. So I'm not going to say what I made the note on.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Still enjoying it. Fully convinced I haven't actually read book 7.
You almost have.
I meant before this.
Right.
I think you knew that, but so there's that, and then of course John and I have been playing Overwatch together.
Where is John? I hate to ask you that. I know you get asked that a lot. But he was supposed to be here today.
I think he just sort of subtly didn't want to have to say I can't come, or I got shit to do and I don't want to come, or whatever.
You gonna come on TADPOG today? You still doing that, man?
TADPOG.
All right, whatever.
Okay, sure. I guess I'll try.
Is that still a
I'll
thing?
try. We've been playing a lot of Overwatch together, and I found this really. So Overwatch has this feature. First of all, they're getting ready to beta test a brand new character. Actually, it would have passed by the time this airs. This weekend, Easter weekend, they're beta testing their new character out there, putting it out as is to see what people's feedback is, so they can tweak it before the next season starts.
Christ risen.
Mid-April. Yes, it is. He has a drill, and he can go underground with it and pop up and do damage. This is the character's name is Venture, and that's what they do.
I was about to say, you can only play Jesus very late on Friday night, and then first thing on Sunday, then he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. But anyway, John and I have been playing a lot of Overwatch, and I found this really neat site because in the game, when you have a game, you can go into your profile after your game is done, and it'll show you can replay the game back and see it from different angles, or see it from the other players' viewpoints,
Yeah, that's
or
cool.
even a third person view from above the battlefield if you want.
That's neat.
It's a pretty sweet feature. And one of the things you can do is create what's called a replay code. And a replay code lets you give that code to someone else, and they can go into Overwatch,
You
put
gave
in
one
that
out
code.
on the show
Oh, that's right. I have done that. I forgot about that. Thank
when you
you.
were tearing them up.
You and 3 healers.
Thank you for
teasing
reminding me of
those
that.
guys.
Yes. So I found a website, because you can't view these replay codes unless you have Overwatch. I found a website where you can go in and you set up a profile, and you put in the replay code, and you fill in the details, like what map it is, who you played throughout the course of the game, whatever. It'll take that replay code and then turn it into a video on demand that you can stream, and it goes to YouTube. So you can link to the YouTube video or whatever. It's completely free. It's owreplays.tv is the name of the website.
Do they? So when it shows up on YouTube, I'm assuming it shows up on their channel.
It shows up on their
Do
channel.
they have ads on those videos?
I
Because,
don't know.
man,
It would be stupid if they didn't.
That's
Actually, I haven't ever seen an ad if I've replayed it back
I think that.
in there.
Well, maybe the view count per video isn't high enough or something.
It could be.
But
I don't
I
know.
think that could be a good little moneymaker for them.
Yeah. And it's really neat because, like, on the games like each time you upload a video, again, you put the map, the type of game it was, who you played, you fill in all that data, and it reads the replay, and then all the names of every other participant that was in that game shows up at a list at the bottom. For each one of those codes you upload, you get 3 slots, and you can pick which player you want the video. You could have 3 videos, one from my view, one from John's view, and then a third one if you want, of anyone else that's in the game to put out there. So I thought that was really neat. I've been kind of sharing some stuff out there. My username on there is the Blue Bend if you want to look it up and see what I've uploaded so far. It should be readily available for anyone that's interested in watching.
Does it retain like skin data and everything?
It's just like watching it back from a stream,
That's really
basically. Which I've been struggling. I'm thinking about streaming to Twitch. I want to stream to YouTube, but that's going to involve more equipment than I have the money to buy.
Really?
I don't have a stream box. I don't have a Elgato or anything.
Yeah.
I can stream to Twitch directly from my Xbox.
Yeah.
And then I think you can get like services that'll mimic it out to the other streaming platforms and stuff. Just haven't gotten into it, but until I do that, this will be a neat way to share gameplay.
You could take the VODs from Twitch and then upload them to YouTube if that was kind of your thing.
And I was just hoping to be able to, like, take over the TADPOG channel when Tyler's not streaming or something and put my content there.
Hell yeah.
But I got to be able to do it. I got to get the equipment. Plus, I play my Xbox from my easy chair in my living room. I would have to have my PC, my computer in there with the box attached, and I'd probably be surrounded by a lot of cables and equipment and stuff that might not make my wife terribly happy.
Yeah.
Women love that in living rooms.
Yeah, they do.
Love
they
it.
really do. I have an office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an office where I could set it all up easily, and it's actually a really nice office so I can stream in. But I don't always, after working or working from home,
Right.
I don't always feel like sitting out there for hours at a time.
Yeah, I get it.
So I'm trying to think of alternatives here, but we'll see. I don't know. Till then, this OWReplays.tv should be a pretty good
It sounds neat.
little thing.
That's cool.
And I think that's all I've got this week. I'm sure something will pop up after Dave starts talking.
Probably not, because I don't have like a lot to say. It's been I'll be leaving for a work trip here in a few days, and so because of that, we've been preparing for that in the office, and so it's been pretty. It gets crazy like the week before, so I've been real tired.
Sure.
Get home from work, and it's like, I guess I'll just play Final Fantasy, and that's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm almost through all of the MSQ now. I took a break from leveling crafting because I was feeling kind of burnt out on that. I got all the crafting jobs to at least 50, and it's like, okay, I think I want to like get back to like fighting stuff because I've been doing this solid for like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And the reason I started crafting, leveling those jobs, is because I was getting burnt out on doing MSQ because that's all I was just trying to get it done and go through it as quickly as possible.
Explain MSQ to me again.
Yeah, sorry. I thought about this a couple weeks ago. I was like, did I ever say what MSQ is?
Did he?
or what it
I
means?
don't think he did.
It's main story quest, MSQ.
Oh, that makes okay. Duh. I could have sussed that out probably.
So it's the content that you really need to get through in order to unlock like in game stuff.
Okay.
So it's all
You got your rank 10 yet? You can't go to your rank 10.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it is a lot like that. That's a really good comparison. Except MSQ is, instead of it being like 3 long missions, it's like broken up into quests. So it's it's like quest chains. The post Endwalker patch stuff has been really, really cool. I mean, I think it's been better than the actual Endwalker, the game, the expansion.
Have you seen that PS5? The Final Fantasy 14 PS5?
Yeah,
Fuck me.
The Xbox.
Is it an Xbox? Okay.
Yeah, They might have done a PS5 as well, but yeah, you're talking about the one that kind of looks like a aetherite crystal.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Because they're doing that as a sweepstakes because they just released the game on Xbox,
Right.
And they're doing it as like a sweepstakes where if you like go on X.com, formerly Twitter, and make a post on there, it's not a tweet anymore. I
Right.
guess. What is
I
it?
don't
You
know.
Make an X.
An excretion is
an
what
excretion.
calls it.
Make an excretion. Yeah, you make an excretion, and then like you get entered in the sweepstakes. And I was like, I'm not going to do that, but I mean,
That'd be cool though.
I should just start they all want you to do this, I feel like. Or else Square Enix is all about, for whatever reason, they're like, all our marketing's X. People got to like do the hashtags, and it's like, okay, guys. I mean, whatever.
Way to be 2000 and late.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, Fergie, get with it. But I've thought about just making an account that's like just says like, the name of it is like this is the account that I post all Square Enix
Free shit account.
Right?
Hashtag
got
sweepstakes accounts.
No followers, nothing. It's just like, okay, here we go. Watch that one blow up. That'd be great.
You'll get all the followers.
Conan O'Brien follows 2 accounts, that one girl and this one.
You were talking. Speaking of Xbox, I just got an email today that Diablo 4 is on Game Pass,
We knew that was coming.
and I'm an idiot because I bought it.
Well,
and I've
I mean-
hardly played any of it. So
wouldn't say you're
it
an
was
idiot,
Well, it was just it was a spend I didn't need to make because now I can play. I could have just waited 6 months or whatever it was and played it for free. And you're right. I saw the writing on the wall. Microsoft was going to buy Blizzard, and it was coming.
Yeah.
And I just did it anyway. And now I've got a paid copy of Diablo.
Yeah.
But no I don't know that I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it okay when I was playing it,
Yeah,
but I mean,
didn't grab you the way that it.
I mean, I saw it and I was like, I wonder about that. I don't want to spend any money on that.
yeah, it did grab me, but I'm in the gravitational pull of Final Fantasy
Right.
14. Like I'm fully like that. I'm committed.
It's nice to know that it's there, that I can go and play it if I want to. I mean, it's fine. I may eventually get around to it, but I mean, as long as Overwatch exists, I'm going to get pulled by that, just
Yeah.
the way you are
Yeah.
with Final Fantasy. So
Yeah, that's just kind of my game right now, and
Yeah.
has been. And I pre-ordered Dawn Trail. That's like the next expansion.
Oh, okay.
In Final Fantasy 14.
Nice.
So I did that. That was a cluster, which makes me, wonder what it's actually. The game is going to be like. Am I actually going to get to play it when it launches?
Oh shit! What was it? Just a hard to get
Bad gateway error.
Oh
Like,
man!
I tried. People were going crazy because it kept trying and trying. I tried it 3 times. Once in the morning, didn't work. I was like, okay, I'll see you in the afternoon. I tried the afternoon, didn't work. Okay, I'll see you at night. Then it worked at night. I was like, okay, that was relatively stress free compared to fucking hammering it all day.
You didn't get charged 3 times, did you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Sounds like some.
I
shit that would
pre-registered it
happen.
3 times. Is that is okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that fine with everybody?
It's gonna be 3 times as much fun now that you've paid for it thrice.
Right. I get 3 times the experience. Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean post Endwalker patch stuff has all been like very Final Fantasy IV centric, which has been cool. I don't want to give like if anybody, you guys at the table don't care about Final Fantasy 14 like spoilers, do you?
No, I don't care about spoilers.
If anybody listening does, maybe skip ahead like a minute,
Couple minutes, okay.
couple minutes, yeah.
45 minutes later.
Right. No. I keep it brief because I don't have like a whole lot to say about it. But like, I fought Golbez last night, who was like the big bad kind of in Final Fantasy IV, and that was really cool. That's a really cool fight that I died 5 times during.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was. That one had a few little surprises in it that I wasn't expecting. And it's like,
You got to bring a stubborn old man with you if you're going to win that fight.
yeah, man. Oh, dude. Who is, mentioned. He's been mentioned in the game before. So, but not a whole lot. So, anyway, I just thought it was really neat and it was super well done. And it's like hearing that battle music and like how they handled him. And now, of course, Zeromus, as it is now.
That's
as
how
I
they say it?
Now know it's pronounced,
Okay.
or as we like to say, Zero Mussy. That is so. That's going to be the next fight for
Need
me.
you to milk your way up, all up in my Zeramusi.
That's right. Yep. So yeah, that's been cool. I've really enjoyed it, and yeah, that's it. I did the. So every expansion has like a certain number of raids. They have like an alliance raid, which is like a 18-person raid or something like that.
Okay.
It's big. 18, is that right? 24?
That's
something
a lot.
like that. A lot of people.
Yeah.
So many people I never count them.
Right.
But like I ran the first one of those. There's 3, and I ran the first one of those for the first time last night.
Now, do you find it difficult to like get loot when there's that many people involved?
No, it's awesome because I'm late and everybody's like, this is trash. So I get all of it.
Nice.
They just don't even roll on it or
Oh,
they pass
hell
on
yeah.
it. It's like, all right, okay, I'll take this. It's ironically, it's also garbage for me because
Right.
I've gotten better loot from like, just from other places.
I got better loot at your mom's yard sale.
But like I descent it all, so that's nice.
Well, there
It's like
you
I'll
go.
take your trash,
Yeah.
turn it into skill points and
Yeah.
crafting materials.
Materials. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So that's kind of it. That's
Okay.
that's truly all I've been doing.
I love it. I love when there's not. Sometimes I like when there's not a lot to report. because it just means that maybe there wasn't a whole bunch of bad. I guess I don't know.
Can you
No,
change
there's
your name
bad.
to Oscar
There's
the
bad.
Grouch?
I'll just don't talk
and
about
ask
it.
for all their trash loot.
Can you what?
Change your name to Oscar the Grouch and just ask for all their trash loot.
Once they get the loot, it can't be traded, unfortunately. But you could ask beforehand, like Oscar the Grouch says, roll pass on all trash.
Tyler, what have you been up to, man?
I had one interesting thing while I was streaming Earthbound. So I've been trying to do it pretty quickly. No grinding, no bottle rockets. Just playing it straight pretty quickly. It's gone well. And then, but the only thing is, there are in Earthbound, a lot of the most powerful items are 1 in 128 chance drops. They're like 6 or 7 really important loot drops that are like that throughout the game. Every enemy almost has something like that, but it'll be like a dog has a 1 in 128 chance of dropping like a bread roll or some shit.
Like in real life.
But like, yeah, it's just like in real life. I killed 128 dogs and got 1 bread roll. But most of that, like if I wanted to, I could just grind off screen, so I'm not being boring. The only one that I would really need to is the Sword of Kings, because the Sword of Kings, it's in a story point, and once you beat it, you can't go back. It's an important one because it's the only weapon that one of your characters can have, that Pooh can have, because
His name is Pooh.
Pooh, he has 4 pieces of equipment in the game, and his sword is only offensive weapon. You have to get it there at that time. So I was
If you want it.
If you want it.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm going to have to grind it for that. That'll probably be boring to stream, but I was like, well, that's just is what it is. So I set up everything, stopped my stream for a second. The next time, right to go into the Stonehenge base, and I could grind it out, maybe do like a, hopefully no more than like a 4-hour stream and get it and move on. I'm 30 minutes into the stream. The very first Starman Super I fight, I go like, wouldn't it be fucking something if I got it on the first drop? First Starman Super drops the Sword of Kings.
Nice.
Lost my goddamn mind.
You can say that every time.
Yeah. Well, I did for every other item. It did not work again.
Damn it.
Well, you had a 1 in 128 chance of it happening,
Yep.
and there you
God.
go.
And I
That's
was like,
that's awesome. That's great.
I was like, oh, I'm actually going to get a lot of shit done on this stream.
This is Gan's work.
So, yeah, I got that. I was very happy. And then proceeded to what I thought was going to be just Stonehenge into, like, getting to Magicent. From Stonehenge to Magicent in one stream, which I thought I was not going to touch at all. I did, so off screen, I've already gotten Jeff's best weapon. I ground that out. That took like a day and a half. That was fucking awful. I don't really want to do it again.
Now, are you trying? Are you getting all of these because you're not using super bottle rockets, or is this like inconsequential to like,
Column A, column B. Okay. Like I've never gotten them, and I'm not using bottle rockets. So although like honestly, it's like playing tactics without using items, and I had to use all the other cool shit. Maybe be like, oh man, items are such a crutch. There's so much cool shit in this game. Just like bottle rockets. Jeff has so much cool shit that you'll never use if you use bottle rockets. So now I'm using bottle rockets. I have all his other cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having a better time with that.
You're getting to play the game a different way.
Yeah. The only other thing, I don't think I'm going to... The magic fry pan that is Paula's weapon that you have to do the high chances for, turns out it kind of sucks when I was doing research into it. And I was like, oh.
Like the stats suck on it? Or
Well, it's her equivalent to the Gutsy bat.
Mm-hmm.
Like it makes her guts go way up, which her attack sucks anyway. And it's like... stat-wise, attack power, it's like the 3rd or 4th strongest pan she can get, which is stupid, even though it's the gut score.
Now the other ones, are theirs like Pooh's, for example? Like that's like the best he can get, I'm assuming?
Yeah, that's the only weapon. Every other weapon, you could equip yo-yos or slingshots on him, but it actually makes the attack go down. Huh. So like Sword of Kings is like it for him. All the stuff that he can have is like it. You can equip a pendant on him, but it's going to make his defense go down. So So I think I was grinding on it, but the more I think about it, like it's not worth my time. The only other thing I've never gotten it. It's always been on my bucket list for game is getting the Gutsy bat. That's probably the only other thing I'm going to do.
You should get it, yeah.
Because I've never gotten it.
Yeah, you should get it. You've talked about it enough. You should definitely
that was,
it.
I mean, Josh and I, that was 3% of our childhood was the goddamn Gutsy
because
bats.
the guide was wrong, right?
The guide was wrong. I remember.
Told you to farm in the wrong area.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guide that came with the game tells you that the Kraken and Magicent will drop the Gutsy bat, which I thought, okay, that makes sense because it's super powerful. It is by far and away the best weapon in the game. And you can only fight 3, maybe 4 of these Krakens in the game. I was like, well, that makes sense. So I remember I spent forever because you can only save at the beginning of Magicent and the Krakens are at the end. So I would go through all of fucking Magicent, fight the 3 or 4 Krakens, not get the drop, reset.
Right.
I did that over and over and over
and
again.
What's probably a good thing you didn't know at the time. I don't know how Earthbound does it, but there are certain games where it's like, oh, you turn on the game. Well, the time dictates the drop table for like all the monsters in the game. You know what I mean? So like, if I don't know how it works in
Manipulate the
Earthbound, but yeah,
RNGs,
what if it was a situation where it's like, no, none of these are ever going to drop it. Like, every time you reset it doesn't actually change your chances of it dropping. That's the kind of shit I think about when I'm farming for something. And it's like, when it's been 5 hours, what are all the things that possibly could be wrong?
Well, yeah, 'cause it turns out that it's the Bionic Kraken at the very, very end of the game. Like, you can only fight Bionic Krakens in the small area right before you fight Gygas.
Yeah.
So the Gutsy Bats, it's almost stupid to get because in Gygas and Earthbound, you can't actually kill him. So there's really no point to the Gutsy Bats.
Yeah.
But I've never gotten it, and I wanted to get it. If the guide had been right, that would have been the place that would have been cool to have gotten it.
Mm-hmm.
But so that'd be one of those things where it's like, I need to go beat Earthbound, but I do want to do this because I can't really grind that. And then, I guess I could, but I have to stop because it's in kind of a weird, it's in a big climactic story moment at the end of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. So, but I do want to get it just to cross it off.
Trust your feelings on that. I mean, it's kind of, you could always, if you wanted to, play through it so you don't like have an anticlimax.
Yeah.
So you don't ruin that gasm, and then you could, if you reset it and then grind it out and get it.
Yeah.
And then be like, okay, now I did both.
Yeah. I might do that.
But you still, okay, remind me, because it's been a minute since I played. You still have to do you have to deal damage to him? I mean, you have to
You do have to beat his first form. That's
right,
true.
Okay.
Yeah, where it's him and Pokey. You have to beat them.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was about to say, man, I didn't realize that the damage didn't matter at all.
And technically, I had no idea they have the final form of Gygas immune to everything.
Yeah,
you can't actually hurt him.
Right, I remember that. Yeah.
So you can deal 1,000,000 points of damage. You're not going to kill him.
Right.
But they did not make him immune to one kind of damage, and it's poison. So you can throw a snake at Gygas and wait long enough, and he will die.
Hey, you should do that.
I kind of thought.
How long does it
Jeff
take?
does have that. I do have a bag of snakes on him all the time.
Of course. You'd be a fool not to.
So that would be a fun way to do it, though, is to throw that at him and then wait him out.
Have you beaten him that way before?
I've never done it like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Because if you beat him like that, from the video I saw, he just stops.
Oh, really?
Everything just...
Does it soft lock the game?
No, you can still going, but he stops doing anything. I might do that.
So does Paula still have to pray in order to end that fight? Okay.
Yeah, he just stops doing anything.
Gotcha.
You just have to pray and then end it.
That's funny.
Because I watched the video where it's like, Paula throws a snake, Gygas is poisoned, and it's like 4 points of damage per turn, but it'll kill him eventually.
Yeah. Cool. That's neat. I didn't know that.
So I went back to T Edition, went into Kefka's Tower, some cool stuff in there. You can actually you fight reanimated by Magitech General Leo instead of the dragons. That was cool. But I got fucking stomped. I got waxed hard at the statues because, like, I want to go in there. You can steal very cool stuff from the Warring Triad in the T edition, and they trying to do that with like. I put Locke in the wrong party, so then I figured out, well, if I use a merit award and a thief knife, I can still technically steal, but like I have to take my prime party in instead of splitting everybody up. So I'm kind of at a crossroads in T Edition 2 where it's like, oh, if I want to do this, I'm also gonna have to grind a long fucking time too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, but everybody was. I mentioned on stream because Zal was like, "You're gonna play something you haven't beaten before." It's like, fine, Zal, I'll play a new game. What about Baldur's Gate? Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, but Baldur's Gate 3. So I may actually go ahead and I'll have my own personal run and then do a stream run of Baldur's Gate 3. Just crowdsource the class race and all the decisions and all that. So,
I think I've been playing Baldur's Gate a little bit myself lately, and that would be fun. I like that idea.
might be interesting.
They might have. I can't remember what they're called, but man, maybe I'm just making this up. But I feel like I saw like I can't remember what these things are called, but it's like where your audience can interact directly in the game. Where it's like,
oh really?
Instead of you doing it manually, being like, okay, so what should I do here? I think there's like a plug-in or something. But I'm not sure if it's available. What streaming service it's available on, even if I'm making it up.
Because remember, Twitch plays Pokemon, where everybody was putting in their own code to actually move and fight, and
yeah. I don't know. I've never done it, but I know it exists for some games. I thought maybe Baldur's Gate 3 might be one of those.
That'd be cool. Well, that's about it for me, though. So
Okay.
what do you guys want to do? Do you want to do a draft? Do we want to?
Well, we have a plan for our next episode to be a draft show.
Yeah.
And
So maybe we'll hold off on a draft for now.
We probably have a lot of Jurassic talk.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
I think we probably do. Or
more
at least-
Cretaceous, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mesozoic.
I think we're at a good spot since this is probably going to be kind of a big one. We could probably break now and then get right on to the game.
Okay.
Movie and game.
We can call for help. We gotta reboot the system first.
The door locks! Ellie, boot up the door locks!
You can't hold it by yourself! It's a unit system. I know this.
And now for
The Jurassic Talk.
that's a good way. That compromises everything. The
Talking
Talk.
Jurassic with Tyler and Dave.
Talking Jurassic. That's a podcast title right there. You guys want to start a Jurassic Park podcast?
Yes.
Talking Jurassic.
Jib jab Jurassic.
So we just don't publish TADPOG this week, and we make it. This is our thing now. Jurassic Talk.
Well, no, let's not waste this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
This would be the intro
This is the
to
last
Jurassic
TADPOG
Talk.
episode.
Yeah.
Starting next week, it's Talking Jurassic.
Talking Jurassic. Yeah.
Man, I'd be so down for that. It's kind of a bit, but I'd also be like, all right, what dinosaur you guys want to talk about this week? This one looks cool.
Then we
don't like describe it at all. It's just like, wow, that one's neat.
We become an educational podcast. We start getting grants.
Dr. Grants.
That's
Dr.
right.
Grants.
Alan Grants.
Good one.
So when it comes to Jurassic Park, what's everybody's background with Jurassic Park?
Well, this movie came out in 1993.
Yeah.
Which at the time I was 20. I was working at Toys R Us in Lexington,
9.
Kentucky. And it was a huge fucking deal.
With Acid Randy?
with Acid Randy.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Acid Randy. It was a huge thing. I mean, like, everyone at work, everyone at school, everyone was talking about Jurassic fucking Park. It was a massive fucking deal.
Yes.
And
dude.
I cannot say it enough for it to lend weight to just how big this thing was.
I was a big, I loved dinosaurs as a kid.
Yeah.
And
I know that about you.
I kind of, as I got older, fell out of dinosaurs a little bit. And then Jurassic Park came around and it was like, fuck, man.
Just when I think I'm out.
They pulled me back in. And I was like, I got to see this movie, Mom. I got to see this movie. I was, I guess, 12. So not like old enough to like go and see a movie by myself, you know,
right.
like I procure a ride and, you know, all that. So it's like, I got to see this movie. And she's like, I don't know. It's kind of scary.
It is a horror movie at its core.
Dude, she went, skip ahead. She went to the movie with me. She was fucking terrified.
I bet.
I was
it
fucking
scared me.
loving it. And she's like jumping and fucking twitching and shit.
It was, I had no idea it was going to be such a horror event.
Yeah.
And it really is. It's like a, people tend to forget, like Alien, for example, is a horror movie.
Oh, yeah, that's a super horror movie.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park easily falls into the horror genre because it is fucking terrifying. The first time, you know, I hear that T-Rex scream in the theater with the speakers turned up loud and the walls are shaking, it is scary.
Yeah.
And the technical achievements that went into making this movie, the standards they set for what we have today, modern graphics and CGI, all have roots in the shit that they had to figure out to make Spielberg's vision of this thing come to life.
Right.
And the combination of practical effects and CGI, I rewatched. It's on Netflix right now. I rewatched it again today, just in the background. I've seen this movie, oh God, easily 50 times, if not more.
I've seen it a bunch. I don't know how many times.
And
it still holds up. I feel like for a 30-year-old,
up.
The first one,
plus
yes.
year old movie, the first one, I feel like it holds up. I mean, there are some scenes that, like, some like the full CG is like, especially when they're like, they had the fucking balls in 1993 to be like, we're gonna put dinosaurs in the daylight. We're gonna put cartoon dinosaurs in the daylight.
Yeah.
It's like,
no tricks.
wow.
Which is better tricks, I should say.
It's
They don't
crazy.
even do that with Batman.
So like the night stuff, like all like the stuff, which I know like the T-Rex, a lot of that's practical. Like,
it is.
But some of the night stuff isn't. And of course that looks way better than like the full broad daylight.
Yeah,
stuff.
Absolutely. But,
But
they
even
can be
that-
tricksy with that.
Right.
So
even that I feel like was like, okay, this is like, you can tell it's CG, but I mean, fuck, for as old as it is, it's really
It
impressive.
looks better than Toy Story 1.
Oh, fuck, God, yeah.
And I feel like that was unbelievably cutting edge. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Looking back on it now, it's like, oh.
I know.
But Jurassic Park, I'm still just like, it's not a shock to my system.
And it's shot really well, too, which helps.
yeah, it is.
Like, if it were shot worse, then I feel like it would be easier to be like, oh, yeah, that's kind of, you could see the seams a little bit more, maybe.
Yeah.
But, like, rewatching the T-Rex scene, like when when the T-Rex gets loose.
Oh man, that scene is so scary.
It's a great
amazing
sequence. I mean, the way it's shot, and it's like it's gripping and it's thrilling, and it's like, I think Jurassic Park is a horror movie, but like, or I think Alien is more like a pure horror movie. I feel like Jurassic Park is like an action horror.
I
Yes.
agree,
Yes.
100%.
But I feel like, I do feel like it's both, and I feel like it's more horror than the first Jurassic Park movie is more horror than.
Then they
the
do what
sequential
they
ones.
always do and make it more actiony. And
Right.
Yeah, and I personally like Jurassic Park 2 and 3.
I don't remember 3.
3 actually was probably better than 2. It has William H. Macy and Taya Leone, and Dr. Grant comes back.
Dude, I don't.
It's
think
got
I
the
saw
raptor
3.
skull, though. Like, in 1, if you're within like a 5-mile radius of a raptor, you are fucking
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
dead.
Oh, like in the Super Nintendo game.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Jurassic Park 3, though, it's like 40 raptors are around Grant, and he's got a skull and blows in it, and they're all like, what?
Yeah,
Wait a
it
minute.
is.
Wait a
It
minute.
has some
Like an
moments.
Aztec death whistle.
It is. It has some moments
Is
of
it
what
one
the
of
fuck.
us? Yes, don't kill it.
But I did
Do they
think,
talk? Are there subtitles? I don't know. I haven't
I'm
seen
not
it.
surprised.
I did think it had its moments where it had good action and it had a story that moved right along, and I felt that it stayed more true to the first
second
one.
one definitely lost it compared to the third.
The second one was basically King Kong only dinosaurs.
There's the
you
gymnast
know.
girl kicking a raptor through a window.
That
Yeah.
was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I didn't
when they
hate
get on
these
the
movies.
mainland,
Yeah.
that was another one where it's like, oh, man.
They got me in the sense of I didn't hate these
We were
movies.
back had dinosaurs in New York. That's all we needed.
Yeah,
that was
that's
it.
right.
I didn't hate these movies mainly for the reason they wanted me to not hate them, which was I love the original
Yeah.
so much, and they were good. They brought back some of the cast, and
Right.
And then when Jurassic World kicked in,
I liked the
I
first
thought
one.
the
I saw the
timing was
first one. I
great
liked
for
it.
that, and I've liked all three of the movies. The third one's a little bit what the fuck, but it's okay. I mean, it kind of went where it was destined to go.
They released the Planet of the Apes gas onto the dinosaurs, and they gained sentience. And
They
now
did. We have intelligent talking dinosaurs now, and they all speak with very muted British accents.
Yeah, it's like the
really
dolphins in
weird.
The Simpsons.
yes, exactly that. But yeah, it's just always been one of my favorites, and the first one especially. And I'm always gonna. I watched it today and was, I was thinking I'll just put it on the background, and I found myself watching.
hard to not watch
It's
it.
It's just a real good movie to watch.
Yeah. I feel like the acting's really good at it, too.
Good acting, and some of the places where some of it's not good.
This is our second Sam O'Neill movie in a row.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because he was in Hunt for Red October.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. It's a series now.
What other Sam Neill SNES games are out there?
Did they have one for what was that?
Event Horizon.
Event Horizon. Yes,
No,
that's
they-
what
they
I was
don't
trying-
have one.
Shit. It would look
I
terrible.
can't name a fourth Sam Neill movie, unfortunately, I don't think.
If I thought about it long enough, I could. But I
Tyler's
don't
on
think
it.
there's enough time. I've probably seen several of them.
So some of the acting, what
Some of the acting, it was fine the first couple times I saw it, right? But now I'm at the point where I've seen it so many times, I kind of cringe at certain parts.
dude,
Like especially Dr. Sattler, Ellie Sattler's, some of her lines, some of her... they just kind of grate on me a little because I'm picking it apart,
Right,
though.
right.
I'm not trying to be overly critical,
dude, like,
but it's hard not to.
it is hard not to after you've seen a movie so many times because there's something in the movie. There are two things in the movie that really bother me, which is fucking crazy because I'm not like a director or a
Right.
cinematographer, but it's like there is this in the scene where Dennis Nedry is. We're not going to explain Jurassic Park. You guys have seen it.
And if you haven't, shame on you.
But there's in the scene where Dennis dies via spitter.
Yeah.
When he slips.
Spitting acid, Randy.
Yeah, spitting acid, Randy.
That was Randy's original name until we saw Jurassic Park, and it was like, shit, we gotta change that.
Dude, swallow for once.
Let's just go. Let's just go with Acid Randy. For the record, I never called him Acid Randy. That was not a thing.
It's on his name tag. Until his
acid, Randy.
He didn't work with me. He was a customer. That's how I met him.
In that scene where Nedry dies, when he slips on the wet rocks in
Yeah.
the waterfall, there's like this little cartoon like whoop sound. And it's like once I heard it, and it's real subtle
Yeah.
and faint, and it's like, but once I heard it, it's like, fuck, I hate this part so much
Right.
because it's almost like, yeah, this is horrific, but also we're gonna undercut it with like
remember,
a cartoon noise.
he's doing bad things. Therefore, it's funny that he's dying. He's getting what's coming to him for being a bad guy.
And then there's,
Although it is kind of all his fault that the shit that went wrong.
oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
I mean, but
and the fucking scientist
But-
who by the Jurassic World as the villain.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You could also
BD
say,
Wong
Yeah.
is who plays this guy, and it's crazy to see BD Wong in this movie. He's
know.
like 20.
yeah, it's fucking
And in
wild.
Jurassic World Dominion, I think is the name of the final one. Yeah, he's aged a lot. You know,
Really?
obviously, it's been 40 years,
Yeah,
or 30
but
years, or whatever.
I
But
feel like when he used to be on one of the Law and Orders, right?
well, it was SVU, and they aged him up too.
Okay, okay.
It's not like.
Because I thought he was like when I saw him on Law and Order.
No, he
damn,
still
he's,
looks
like,
good as
aging
fuck.
Well,
He looks good as fuck. It's just they've aged him up in the series to look a lot older, and it's just weird to see him like that.
yeah, he came on set and they're like, dude, you should look way older than you do. Like,
How do you not age?
we got to get to work.
What was your second bugaboo?
Man, it's so fucking nitpicky. It's so goddamn ridiculous. But it bothers me every time. There's a scene where Ellie has to go turn the power on.
Yep, this is one of mine.
There's no way it's a save because mine is so fucking
okay,
like.
all right.
Mine is so like goddamn hair splitty that it's like.
No,
She goes and she does it, and she gets there's raptors in here, and then she runs out, and as like she's escaping, there is a scene where like she shuts the door, and the door's got like metal grating or whatever on it. I don't know what you call
like
that.
a fence or something.
Yeah. And there's a scene where the raptor like pushes his face up against that screen and like puts his claws in it and pushes it, and like the scene goes on for like 2 seconds too long. For me, it goes like, fuck, this is riveting to, oh yeah, that's like an animatronic dinosaur. Because like the way it moves, it like just moves like perfectly horizontal.
yeah, and you can see that in some, like in the kitchen scene. One of them, like as it's coming through the door, looks like it's just rolling straight ahead. You know, I know exactly what you're saying, because there are some scenes where they just don't. It probably was unavoidable.
Yeah, it's hair splitty because it's like
But-
it's fucking 1993. It's like
The cinema sins for this is only 3 minutes long, and it gets 36 sins. That's it. And all the sins are just weird continuity. Like Hammond is on this side of the helicopter flying in, but when he lands, he's on the other side of the helicopter. Sin,
Right.
Or what is it? Where the raptor? Why is the T-Rex cage like? Oh, here's the T-Rex, and when you actually peer over, it's like a mile down in this massive. How is the T-Rex? You know, it's just
Right, how
shit
did it
like
get
that.
out of the- yeah.
There is no like shitty acting or dialogue. It's just weird little continuity slip ups. That's
okay.
it.
yeah.
Like just
People
that's
that
kind of a.
pick
I've
it
seen
apart.
30-minute long, like a third of the movie cinema sins, as opposed to like a 3-minute long splitting hairs fest
Okay.
to make them, to the quality of this movie.
Yeah, I think it's a great movie. I love it. I love the book. I mean, I read the
The book was really good.
like 3 or 4 times when I was in 5th grade.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've
was
read
just
it. I read
kinda
it
like-
once, but I remember it being really fucking
and
good.
I read The Lost World once.
Me too.
Well, that's so living in this house in the 3rd grade, and then David Dykes of Batman and Robin fame was my neighbor, and I remember like I was in 3rd grade, he was in 1st grade.
He was your neighbor when you lived in this house?
here, right
He
here.
lived in that one
That
with
one
the
right next-
loud dog?
Yep.
Okay.
And I remember like seeing him out in his yard one day. So I was like, right, I'm gonna play with another kid. So got up, have a conversation with them, got to know Dykes. As I've said, my family, not movie people. Also not really readers. The Bible was read. That was it.
And there are no
So,
dinosaurs in that.
No dinosaurs. So dinosaurs not Christian.
Famously, no dinosaurs in the Bible.
There might be some in Trump's Bible, Trump's new Bible.
They selling for $60 a pop. Yeah.
Hey man,
Oh, that explains a meme I saw.
hey
I didn't know
man,
that was
you
the
get
Lee Greenwood
you get the
Constitution Bible.
Constitution, you get the Pledge of Allegiance, you get the Declaration of Independence.
Bill of Rights,
I'm telling you,
as
man,
God intended.
that is a value.
$60 a pop.
$60 a pop.
And the reviews say the pages are sticky.
oh man, God. Anyway, you're David.
Stephen Colbert had a good breakdown of it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I know that. But talking to Dykes is all about dinosaurs. Always has been. So like one of the first things we talk about is he shows me his fucking dogged, falling apart. He's read it so many times, copy of Jurassic Park, and tells me about the movie, and he goes through everything with me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this movie would not have been on my fucking radar at all. I would have had no access.
You wouldn't have heard about it? Like what do you, like, would you have, you've heard about it at school,
I don't really
right?
remember my friends really talking about it.
I guess maybe because of the age.
Yeah, I mean,
you were
still
9.
pretty
you were
young.
9.
Yeah.
Because, dude, like, when I was
I mean,
12.
he was in first grade fucking reading Michael Crichton Jurassic Park. Like,
Shit.
yeah.
Like, when this movie came
It's
out.
a dark read for a fucking
Yeah,
Well, if you don't
especially,
it lines up.
man, like, babies get eaten like 10 pages in.
Hammond dies.
Yep. I remember when this movie came out, and I was like, "Mom, I gotta see this movie. I gotta see this movie." For a day, she was like, "No, I don't know. It seems scary. Like maybe it's not a good thing." And I went to school, and like fucking everybody's like, "Dude, did you see the guy in the toilet? Guy on the toilet. Guy, did you see it?"
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like that's all I fucking. And then they're chasing the Jeep, and it's like, "Fuck God, I gotta see this movie." I mean, it was like, holy shit.
Oh, I hate missing out.
Yeah, and it was like, but it was fucking crazy because it was like everybody. I mean, it was everybody. And I got home and I was like, "Mom, I'm literally the only person that hasn't seen this movie, and I really want to see it." And she's like, "Okay, well, we'll go see it." And we went. So grateful. I was so grateful. I fucking loved it. She liked it, but she was fucking like tensed up like the whole time. I'll never forget that. That was that's such a good memory.
That is a great memory. I love that.
That's one that, comes back from time to time.
Well, and
it's like, I remember when my mom took me to Jurassic Park. She really didn't want to go to see that movie.
It's when
But she did it anyway. She did that for me. It was nice.
It's one of those few times when I can truly remember like kind of everything about the time around it and everyone getting together and wanting to see it and wanting to talk about it. It was all the rage at work, like I said. And
yeah.
But it's so funny how timeless it is too, because like back in 2005, Tanya and I went to Disney World. When we remarried, we went to Disney World on our honeymoon, and
you wore that Raptor suit.
I did. I've had it since then. It's getting worn out because I have to wear it a lot. But every anniversary they had a Jurassic Park, like a dinosaur. I don't know if it was Jurassic Park. I think it was a ride, and at the end there was this whole thing like as you kind of. If you spend enough time at Disney World, you start to kind of run into the same people that you see in the line or that you see at the restaurants or whatever.
I remember being a kid and being like, "Oh, that hot girl's in this line too."
Yeah,
the hot girl from before.
Exactly. But there was kind of this understanding of we don't talk about what happens on the Jurassic Park ride because at the end of the ride, I can now because I think they've taken it away, but. I don't know if it was actually Jurassic Park themed or if it was just a dinosaur kind of experience.
Jurassic Park's hot,
but
do dinosaur shit.
But it was at the very end of it, you get like surprised by a T-Rex, a full size T-Rex head popping out at you and screaming at you in that roar. And no one ever tells anyone about it. They don't tell the other riders what's coming so that they get the full experience. And it was neat to have it's everyone had this in common for years after the fact, and that's why I was really excited to be talking about this game tonight because we so rarely get to hit on a movie that everyone knows and everyone's seen and everyone can kind of relate to. And I think
No Escape.
Well, that too, that and Jurassic Park. But it was neat to see for that to come up because this is one of those few movies that like it's hard to find people who haven't seen it.
Yeah,
in this case, and so
everyone in my 5th grade class.
Well, it wasn't just Jurassic Park. Dacus also. I mean, I especially would have had no barometer to the OG thing that got him into dinosaurs in the first place, which is Godzilla.
Oh,
I went over to his room. His whole room was done up in like Godzilla stuff. So he, showed me that and Jurassic Park were his contributors to my life until we became friends again in like late high school.
I had a buddy who was really into Godzilla when I was a kid, but back then we didn't have easy access to anything. So he had a few toys and he could tell me all about it, but we couldn't just like stream the movies or the show or whatever, you know. So I was a little late to the Godzilla party, but
Ultraman as well. I played Ultraman for the first time over at his house.
I was into Ultraman big time. I watched that when I was a kid. It was a weird show.
Yeah.
Surprised I don't have epilepsy from watching that one. So despite the fact that Jurassic Park is, you know, we're like at 40 now, aren't we? No, 30. It would have just passed its 30-year anniversary last year. There's still quite a few. Obviously, a lot of time has passed. I got a lot of trivia. If you'd like me to go through some trivia about the movie, you may or may not know it. Listeners may or may not know it.
I'll
but
obnoxiously let you know if I knew it. Or
I
not.
found a good. I found a good list of.
I knew you did.
Quite a few things.
I knew how much was on it.
This article comes from alltherightmovies.com. I'd like to give credit where credit is due because it's one of the few lists I've read on one of these kinds of sites that actually had some pretty interesting stuff in it.
Okay, cool.
So I'm just going to go straight from that. So in 1993, Steven Spielberg was already acclaimed as the greatest blockbuster filmmaker of all time. His reputation is cemented by classics like Jaws, E.T., and the Indiana Jones trilogy. So when Jurassic Park was released with boundary-pushing, groundbreaking visual effects, went on to become the highest-grossing film ever made, at least for a while. It probably put that accolade out of reach for anyone who might follow. So, let's see here. One of the film's most famous scenes was problematic. It was the first time we see a dinosaur, the Brachiosaur, at the very beginning where Dr. Grant takes off his glasses all weird and then turns Ellie's head to look at it.
Forces Laura Dern to turn her head.
Yes.
Looking at the Cretaceous leaf that was created by a mosquito bit it?
Yeah, that was a valid cinema sin. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad they included that. That one always bugged me.
Well, Laura Dern said that shooting this scene was difficult and took a long time to film because obviously the Brachiosaur isn't really there. So they had nothing to react against. It's when added to this, Spielberg would make up shots on the spot and nobody else could keep up. So when Phil Tippett, who worked on the visual effects team, saw a CGI demo of the Brachiosaur for the first time, he said to Spielberg, "You did it, you crazy son of a bitch." That line was later given to Jeff Goldblum.
Is that a real dinosaur?
No, that's CGI.
Thank you. But wasn't there a skeleton that they thought was a dinosaur like that, but it turns out it was just a mistake and that dinosaur didn't actually exist?
Yeah, it was like that was like the Brontosaurus.
Okay.
So it's like because it's like they had the wrong skull on it, I think.
Yeah.
So then they found the right skull. They're like, this is an Apatosaurus. I think. It's been a minute since I was 7.
Other actors were approached for the various roles. I always like this. I always like to think, this is one of those iconic movies where all the people in it are always going to be, in my mind, the best choice.
Oh, yep. So we have different casts.
So we have different options for who could have played some of these other roles.
Okay. Who was considered?
John Hammond is played by the legendary British actor Richard Attenborough. Michael Crichton, who wrote the novel Jurassic Park is based on, said he saw Hammond as a dark Walt Disney. Clint Eastwood and Marlon Brando were considered for the role of Hammond.
I don't like that. That doesn't sit well.
Clint Eastwood as Hammond doesn't.
Marlon Brando, not even. I could see Clint Eastwood before I could see Marlon Brando.
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, Clint Eastwood before Marlon Brando for sure. But
I don't know, really fat Marlon Brando, just like in his white Boss Hogg suit, just like.
Actually, the guy that played Boss Hogg probably would have been a good choice. And Sean Connery. Now, I could see Sean Connery because he has the Scottish accent.
Yeah, he definitely would have passed.
Dinosaurs aren't real.
He said no.
Be a part of this.
Yeah.
He passed. No, they offered it to him.
Of course he fucking passed.
Wait, no, is that true? Did they offer it to him?
Yeah, and he passed. He said no. Keep missing that big money there, Sean.
Oh,
so
man.
Mosquitoes eat and frogs, and then no, I'm out.
So, does he handle these decisions, or does he have an agent? Because the agent's like his cousin or something.
We're not telling. Mr. Connery respectfully declines, and we are not going to tell him.
He says most of these dinosaurs are not in the Jurassic era, therefore he declines.
Valid. Valid.
He's
a purist.
There'll be more of that here in a minute. There's a couple other things before it. There was a disruption to production that lasted 3 weeks when the Hawaiian island of Kauai was hit by a hurricane called Iniki. The island was decimated with 120-mile-an-hour winds and took out power to the island, hitting all the Jurassic
Killed
Park
all
sets.
the dinosaurs.
Fuck. It took so long to make these.
She
All our
said
frogs blew away.
that Kathleen Kennedy, who is now actually in charge of the Star Wars universe, was the producer, and she had to hitch a lift to Honolulu on a Salvation Army plane just to reach a payphone. From there, she coordinated the return of the crew back to L.A., arranged for $20,000 of relief to be transported into Kauai. Production then resumed later at Universal when they returned to L.A. So they gave a nice little donation to help with the victims affected by the storm. They used some of the shots from on their way to leave. They grabbed some footage of the storm to use in the movie. So some of the storm footage you see in the movie is shit from a real hurricane.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The cast and crew moved to the ballroom of the hotel they were in, but Richard Attenborough didn't go. He just stayed in bed. He said, when Spielberg asked him how he could do that, he said, "My dear boy, I survived the Blitz."
I didn't know he was a quarterback.
Of course, we know that the Triceratops that is sick from eating the plants,
Right.
is actually a huge animatronic model. There was no CGI in that scene. That was one giant model. So when Dr. Grant is laying on the Triceratops and feeling its breathing, that thing's really moving him up and down. And so I thought that was pretty cool.
Cool.
They had to dig a hole beneath it and have 8 puppeteers below operate the thing with cables. Pretty cool. There was a bidding war for the book. Jurassic Park is based on a novel written by Michael Crichton, published in 1990, which is, I would have thought that Jurassic Park would have come out before 1990 for some reason. But the book.
Well, yeah, because 3 years doesn't really seem like...
It's like they must have
turn
gotten
around that much stuff. Invent and create. And that is. You're right.
That's no time at all for a turnaround on a book like that.
Which I think is really... I think was smart because, so much of what was cool about Jurassic Park, I remember at the time was could this really happen? You know what I mean? It's because the tech around it was interesting.
Of course, mosquitoes and amber. Of course.
Right?
They cracked the code. Crichton's concept was deemed so strong by Hollywood that studios were bidding on the rights to the book before it was even published. Warner Brothers were in the running and wanted Tim Burton to direct this movie.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad that didn't happen. I love Tim Burton, but not
Only if
for
we
this.
get Nick Cage as Alan Grant.
Yes.
And Hella Bonham Carter.
Yep. And we got to throw Michael Keaton in there somewhere.
Yeah, of course.
Columbia wanted
Johnny
it.
Depp as Ian Malcolm.
Columbia wanted it for Richard Donner, and 20th Century Fox were keen on Joe Dante to direct. James Cameron wanted to make the movie too, which I got my beef with him.
Yeah.
In so many ways. I'm not going to try to get into that. I'm glad this did not turn into a James Cameron film.
Yeah, I'm curious what it would have been like.
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't think he would have done it badly.
The dinosaurs on explosions.
But this movie
like in the game.
screams Spielberg. Right? This one is perfect Spielberg material.
And he was making this while he was making Schindler's List.
That's one of the next things on my list here. But it said the rights were snapped up hours before Cameron was able to make his bid. Cameron said that his version would have been like Aliens with dinosaurs. And Cameron wanted Charlton Heston as Hammond, Bill Paxton as Malcolm, and Arnold Schwarzenegger as Grant.
Ooh, I don't know.
So now you think maybe it wouldn't have been such a good fucking movie.
Let's phase into that timeline. where
Yeah.
that did happen.
Yeah,
So
let's go through that
Universal, Universal, of course, won the
drink my
bidding
Nozzula
right,
and watch James Cameron's version of Jurassic Park.
and you could drive down there and pick it up at the Blockbuster in your Takuro Spirit.
Yes, sir.
Universal won the bidding war, obviously, and due to a successful previous relationship, wanted Steven Spielberg to direct. At the time, he was in pre-production for another movie he was working on that was based on a Michael Crichton novel and called E.R. It later became the famous TV show starring George Clooney.
Which I watch all the time.
Yeah,
Michael
Melissa
Crichton
likes
was
it.
behind
It's
it.
one
Loves
of
it,
Melissa's comfort shows.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, she watches it.
Crichton
over
was
and over
behind
and
the
over.
concept of ER, just so she
That's
didn't
why
know
I
that.
tried to watch it when I was a kid. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is not Jurassic Park.
Nope.
Still don't care for EO.
Uh,
I've
so
seen every bit of it and don't care for it.
Yeah.
as Dave mentioned, Spielberg made Jurassic Park and Schindler's List in the same year. Spielberg, when production wrapped, Spielberg pretty much went straight to production on Schindler's List. Had no break, and this meant he was working on both films at the same time. He called it the hardest filmmaking of his life. It surely was worth it, though, because Jurassic Park was the highest grossing film of all time, and Schindler's List won Best Picture and Best Director at the Oscars that year. Modern technology allowed Spielberg to be in two places at once. Spielberg wanted to keep communication channels open between himself and the team in L.A. that was working on Jurassic Park. He was filming Schindler's List in Poland, so he rented 2 satellite channels through Polish television and kept them open at all times, which cost $1.5 million per week
Whoa.
in 1992.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Whoa.
All right, now we're back to who was offered these roles in this
Yeah,
movie. The
yeah.
lead role was originally offered to somebody else. The protagonist of the movie is Dr. Alan Grant. Many actors were in the frame for the role of Grant during the casting, including Kevin Costner,
Okay.
Dennis
Yeah.
Quaid,
Okay.
Mel Gibson,
No.
No.
Richard Dreyfuss, which I actually would have.
Well, sure.
Richard
I would
Dreyfuss is
like
Hammond.
Jaws.
Yeah, I could see Dreyfuss as Grant, though, too. And, of course,
Yeah.
Robin Williams were all considered by Spielberg.
Yeah.
William Hurt turned down the role because he said, "I'm not keen on the dinosaur angle."
Okay.
Kurt,
All right, Connery.
Kurt Russell also turned it down when he and Spielberg could not agree on a salary.
Man.
I think that would have been a good one. I
I'd
like
be
Kurt
real
Russell.
interested to see because it's so hard to it's so hard to imagine anyone other than Sam Neill as
I agree.
Alan Grant because I've seen that movie so many times.
But
right?
Kurt Russell would
But
be a pick.
Kurt
for
Russell
me.
would be. I want to see what it's
I
like.
agree. And also, last but not least, Harrison Ford turned it down because he said it was too close to Indiana Jones, I guess. And he said no. So I don't know how he put that together. I mean, I guess the archaeologist thing.
I guess some of the adventure.
I guess
Yeah.
it could be confusing, I suppose.
I'm with him on that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm going to skip
He
some of
hates
these.
acting anyway, so yeah, unless you're really invested.
Big names are considered for other cast members too, though. Just like with Sam Neill as Grant, there were a lot of acting names up for the part of Dr. Ellie Sattler before Laura Dern. Nicole Kidman,
Okay.
Heather
I mean,
Graham.
No.
Yeah,
No.
Heather Graham's a weird choice.
That would have been too. Yeah, no.
Renee Zellweger. Nope.
No.
They're too cutesy.
Jodie Foster, I
Yeah,
think, would have been
Jodie
a
Foster
very
was
good
really
choice.
good.
I would have loved Jodie Foster,
Jodie Foster
in that
would've
role.
Good.
Sigourney Weaver,
Yeah.
also a decent choice,
Yeah.
but maybe I would see Sigourney Weaver being more in the role of Hammond if Hammond was a female, being
Okay.
that
Yeah.
leader type.
Right.
She's
Like in
got
Cabin
that.
in the Woods as
Yeah.
the director.
Yes. Good reference, Tyler. Michelle Pfeiffer, Ali Sheedy,
No, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Gina Davis.
Ali Sheedy. What a
That's
what
weird,
a
isn't it?
odd
That's a weird choice.
pull.
But it's
you
a
know?
weird pull.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it is weird. I mean, I like her.
Gina Davis, I think, would have been a good choice.
Gina Davis would have been good.
Yeah,
Daryl Hannah,
I could see that.
a good one. Jennifer Grey. We're like touching on all the 80s
Yeah.
ladies.
I do want to see Kurt Russell and Heather Graham though. Like,
yeah. Kelly McGillis, Jamie Lee Curtis, that would have been impossible for me. Again, I see her in more of a leader role. Again, it's just that way for me. Julia Roberts, thank you.
Ginger swap them, and Jamie Lee Curtis can be, Samantha Neal.
Right. Yeah. I think that's what it is. I'd rather see them in the lead.
Yeah.
Because they're very good leading ladies anyway, and I think it's tough to see them in a role where they're not commanding the screen. And I'm not to say that Laura Dern wasn't amazing in this movie.
Yeah, I thought she was great.
And not the right choice. I do think she was the right choice. And I think she had a very commanding presence, but I think her character was supplemental, at least at first, to Dr. Grant. And
they were romantically entangled.
Not really. Sort of, kind of, but not really. There was that tension.
Yeah.
I thought that the Jeff Goldblum choice,
Kurt Russell would have fucked whoever that other person was.
right? Exactly. It would have been impossible for him not to. We're still going on this one. This was a long list. See, Julia Roberts, thank you. No. Linda Hamilton, maybe. Sarah Jessica Parker, no. Bridget Fonda, maybe. Joan Cusack.
Yeah,
maybe I could see that. I love Joan Cusack.
Gender swap Dennis Nedry.
Ooh,
hey,
Cusack there.
When the spinner attacks her, she's just a robot.
Yeah,
her head just pops
every
off.
movie she's in, I want her to be a robot.
You both have made my day. That is the absolute perfect role for Joan Cusack in this movie, and Deborah Winger. Maybe she was in Urban Cowboy, if that means anything to you.
I haven't seen it.
Were also considered for the role, and Sandra Bullock, Gwyneth Paltrow, Julianne Moore, Laura Linney, Helen Hunt, Terry Hatcher, and Liz Hurley all auditioned for the role. I could see Julianne Moore. She actually was in Jurassic Park 2.
Right.
In that role that, not the Ellie Sattler role, but just another character.
Yeah. And Sandra Bullock.
Helen Hunt, I could see.
Helen Hunt.
Yeah.
Jodie Foster, though. Man, that would have been.
Jodie Foster would have been
really good.
The fucking perfect choice.
She's like, I've already been in a movie with night vision goggles. I can't. I got a quota.
Then we've got
if Harrison passed for similar reasons, I can't do this.
That's right.
Jeff Goldblum's character, Dr. Ian Malcolm.
Robin Williams, I could have seen as in that role, not
maybe.
Grant.
Oh man,
maybe, but Jeff Goldblum
is so
perfect
for that. I mean, it's like holy shit.
I have rarely seen anything that he's done that he wasn't perfect for, and this is the consummate Jeff Goldblum role for me. I'm gonna
Not Earth Girls Are Easy.
No, or The Fly, and he was really good in The Fly.
Yeah.
He was fucking amazing in The Fly.
Yeah.
But this is what I think of when I think Jeff Goldblum, and I think of that, and maybe Thor Ragnarok, because I thought he was great in that. But Dr. Ian Malcolm, also one of the first times the name Ian, the main character in the movie, which really resonated with yours truly, because that never happens.
Yeah, because it's Ian Ziering is not Ian. So
lots of other names are up for his part. Jim Carrey was considered.
Okay,
it could work,
maybe, because I think Jim Carrey's a good actor.
Oh, he's a great actor,
but not in that era. That's too early.
He was Ace Ventura,
he had
goofy,
to grow into
Cable Guy, set him into that role of being serious.
Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal Sunshine. What was the one about him being on TV all the time? Truman Show. He's a great dramatic actor, but at that time
he had to get tired of the goofy to move into the dramatic.
I agree.
But I don't know that he was necessarily. I don't know if it's a situation where he was not ready to do that.
Yeah,
dramatic roles versus just not being given those roles, because he was so successful and such a force, a comedic.
God, he was, and I laughed my ass off the first time I saw Ace Ventura in the theater.
Yeah.
God, I thought that was the funniest fucking thing I'd ever seen.
Young, but the first time I saw it,
I was losing it, just dying laughing. I had no idea what I was in for. So yeah, I agree with
nice
you.
Way to see that.
I
wish I
agree
could
with you.
have seen it that way.
Blind. We lived next door to a movie theater and just went to see it one day for fun, and it was the best time I've had at the movies probably ever. just because it was so unexpected and so funny. I still quote that movie to this day. But in addition to Jim Carrey, Michael Keaton was considered. Bruce Campbell as Dr. Ian Malcolm, maybe.
Ooh.
I love Bruce Campbell.
Yeah. Not his role though, right?
I don't think it's his. I don't. This is good.
He'd have been good as the hunter guy.
Muldoon.
Yeah, he'd have been a good Muldoon. Except he couldn't say.
When I heard Kurt Russell, I was like, oh, Kurt Russell. I can see him as like a Muldoon type.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know, guys. I don't mean this to be a hot take. I like Bruce Campbell a lot. I don't think he's like a great actor. I think he's fun. I think he's a fun actor.
He's a fun actor.
I've not seen Burn Notice.
I have. And Bubba Hotep. I like him a lot.
Bubba Hotep.
I like him a lot.
He has a lane.
Yeah.
And he rarely comes out of it.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Totally. And I enjoy the things he's in, and I like his performances. But I just feel like this is gonna sound shitty. I don't mean it to sound shitty, and I don't mean it as a hot take, but he's like a B movie actor.
Like B plus.
Yeah.
A minus.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're saying. You're not wrong. I don't think that's being unfair.
Seeing him like in a Steven Spielberg directed film
It would be weird.
Weird.
It would be weird. You're absolutely right.
But maybe that's just he just needed that chance. Like if he had been in that role, I might think completely differently.
What would it have changed? You know? Yeah,
right.
But what would we have missed out on?
I feel shitty saying all that, but I meant it.
No, I completely get it. No, it's totally fine. Johnny Depp, no, not as Ian Malcolm.
We made that joke earlier.
Ted Danson, I could see Ted Danson in that role. He's funny. He's a good dude.
Curb recently.
Steve Guttenberg, I think that might have given Steve Guttenberg a little bit of a bump.
Yeah,
I think
in brown face or not in brown face.
What?
In brown face or not in brown face?
Oh, not
in Short Circuit.
Yeah, not.
Okay,
let's not. and last but not least, Michael J. Fox, considered for the role of Dr. Ian Malcolm. So I think Michael J. Fox carries. I think he carries.
Man, I would watch the fuck out of that. The cast is all the same, but Michael J. Fox is Tim, just wearing kid clothes. I imagine the scene where like he's on the fence when it gets electrified.
Oh, jeez. Him, and that's where Heather Graham. Heather Graham is his sister.
Oh man.
I'm going to wrap up my list here.
I love this. I'm so glad you came with this, Steve.
A couple of other things.
I didn't know any of these like alternate castings.
So we all remember the iconic moment when the T-Rex is walking and they show the water.
That's why they couldn't do Michael J. Fox. Sorry for that joke.
I'm just trying to get through
Michael,
this.
set it down.
No, I will not have that.
Sorry.
I will not have it.
Sorry.
He is one of my heroes.
Yeah, I get it. I totally do.
They react to movement. We are fucked.
Sit very still. Don't move. Oh, jeez.
That was the most Morty I've ever heard. You know,
God, no, I'm doing it. Stop. All right. So that shot with the water.
It could be a little dark as a treat.
Just a little treat. One of the most famous shots in the film is when we see the glass of water vibrating along with the footsteps of the T-Rex. Spielberg got the idea when he was listening to American funk outfit Earth, Wind, and Fire in his car, and the mirror vibrated. The person who worked out how to do it in the film was a member of the special effects team named Michael Lantieri. He laid guitar strings under the dashboard of the car, and when he plucked the right note, the water vibrated. That's how they got that to do that.
Okay.
That was kind of neat, I thought.
Yeah.
Remember when they first start the tour in the Jeeps and the narration is going, and one of the many spared no expense.
Yeah.
He said, "We got Richard Kiley to narrate this tour. We spared no expense."
Uh-huh.
in Crichton's book, he specifically mentions that the voiceover for the audio tour is provided by Richard Kiley, a famous Broadway performer in America. So Spielberg hired Kiley to do the voiceover for the tour in the film as well.
Nice.
So that was neat.
That is neat.
One of the cinemastic complaints was that there's no return track for the Jeeps or the Explorers, I guess, or however they do it. So they would have had to been passing back and forth on the exact same track.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
So it's like
understand.
that.
Go in reverse even.
Yeah, so like you could only have so many tour groups going like that at a time because there's no like return track to keep them all.
But wouldn't it just loop around?
circulating.
Unless it was on a loop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
In the board game, it loops around. I'm just saying.
Oh, and then another one was how
in most board games,
how Hammond talked.
loops around.
No, Connect 4.
How Hammond talks to himself in the intro. So the cinema was like, was he gonna do this like 200 times a day with every single tour group that came in?
Cloning technology.
That's true.
Mix him in a frog.
Frog DNA.
Or that thing that dude became in the X-Men movie. The original X-Men movie where he
shit.
turns into that amphibious thing, the senator or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, it just kind of melt into the water.
Yeah.
Man, I need to rewatch that. It's been a long time.
I
since
haven't
I've
seen that in a
the
while
original
either.
X-Men movie.
Spielberg was inspired to get Dennis Nedry, Wayne Knight.
Do we have any potential castings for him?
We do not, but
It was always just
Spielberg.
him. In every reality, it's still
The reason
He's
that
the
we
he's
don't
the Keystone Nedry.
the reason that we don't is because Spielberg saw Basic Instinct,
Yeah.
and Paul or Wayne Knight is in that, and he saw it, and he
Sharon
said he
Stone
thought
Zoe.
that role would be perfect for him, and so he wrote his name down and then got in touch with his agent. Oh, Charlie Sheen was also considered to play the role of Dennis Nedry.
Oh, fuck.
Weird, totally different, not even close. on that
Samuel L.
one.
Jackson would have beaten the fuck out of Charlie Sheen on the set of Jurassic Park. There's no doubt in my mind.
Let's see. The little girl Lex is played by Ariana Richards, who was just 13 years old at the time. Spends a lot of time in the film screaming, and apparently the reason she got the role is because in her audition she was able to scream as much as she could and as loud and consistently as she could. Steven had watched a few auditions on tape that day, and I was the only one who ended up waking his wife off the couch, and she came running through the hallway to see if the kids were all right. So apparently her scream got her that part. And she was one of the best parts of this movie. I love her comedic timing. The thing with the jello shaking, and she was perfect in this film. She and her little brother.
Yeah.
I thought those two were just adorable, and they did so well. The little guy's timing, was unbelievable. When the Jeep that they're trapped in goes over the cliff and it falls down through the tree, and they're climbing down the tree. The Jeep is falling on top of them. They get to the bottom. The fucking thing lands on him again, and he goes, and now we're back in the truck. And then he gets blown off the fence with the electricity. He goes 1, 2, blows him off the fence. They resuscitate him with CPR. And the first thing he says when he wakes up, 3. Just love that shit.
Does Cinema
I love
Sins
it.
talk about the fact
Would he
that
have
the
been
kids
shocked?
could crawl through the fence? Because when Nikki and I were watching it, it's like,
They could crawl
because
through that
because
fence.
Alan Grant's like, nope, and Nikki's like, well, the kids could fit through, and I'm like, yeah,
I
they
agree.
could.
They
agree.
mentioned how like the posts were different in different shots where he was on different sides, and then would he have been shocked at all because he wasn't grounded when he was up in the air holding on?
Fuck, man, they know more about electricity than I do.
Okay, so a couple more. I'm not trying to take up the whole show.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
The ending of this movie was originally different, and not in the sense that the book was
Not the same as
different,
the book.
not the same as the book. In the script, the end of the film didn't originally have the T-Rex showing up and saving the group from the Velociraptors. But Spielberg thought the audience would hate him if we didn't see the T-Rex just one more time. So he had the ending changed to what it is now.
Well, the T-Rex bellowing and then the banner going down.
Yeah.
And shit.
Oh, it's iconic.
Yeah,
One of the best scenes. I mean, the best scenes in the movie.
It's so good that
really
they
wraps
repeat it in all the other movies.
Exactly. Exactly.
They're like, that big dinosaur's got to show up again.
How
and fight the
does
little
the book
dinosaurs.
end?
Well, the book
They
ends
nuke
with
the
Hammond.
island.
Hammond dies.
Yeah, and Hammond dies.
And it gets eat by that T-Rex. It ain't great. The ending that was originally in the script, though, was that the T-Rex skeleton that's in the entrance is hooked up to pulleys, and Grant uses the pulleys to move the skeleton's head and feet to crush the raptors.
Oh yeah,
That would have been
would've
dumb.
Yeah, not good.
I'm glad they didn't do that. I don't care why he did it. I'm just glad they didn't do that, because that would have been really upsetting.
It sounds like Spielberg spun that a little bit, where he was like, "I don't want to hurt the feelings of whoever came up with this, but people would hate me if the T-Rex didn't show up again."
Yeah. I believe that you are probably right. Highest grossing movie ever. It was the highest grossing movie ever on a budget of $63 million. This is in 1993, mind you. The film grossed a whopping $913 million at the box office. Wow. That is a shitload of money at any time, but in 1993, that's a fucking lot of money. And that goes to what we were saying, that it was fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
It was a huge sensation.
Dude, I'm surprised it only cost $63 million.
I am too. It doesn't sound like it would be a lot, but again, it's $63 million in 1993. That is really high. It's still not like Waterworld money.
It is, but I
it's
mean, it's also like, you got to think about like the pioneering that was done by this movie, you know?
Yes. It was it seems to me as one of the last, like, you know, rogue, we're going to get this done no matter what kind of deals. And they had the best of the best who were committed to loving their work. And that shows. That's why it's still so good today.
I feel like it was like, for me at least, in my crowd, it seemed like it was like the biggest movie, special effects wise, until The Matrix.
I
mean, The Matrix just felt like the next big one.
It really did. It really did. And so it became the highest grossing movie ever. And then after a re-release, became the first film to top 1 billion and the first to top 500 million at the international box office. Spielberg made $250 million from that. And that is the largest sum to any one person has ever made for a single movie to date. Let's see. And then they talk about how
it's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. And then, of course, the pioneering CGI effects, the sort of the butterfly effect that it had on everything afterwards, and the standards that it set. Just everything about it. This is one of those permanent moments, right? This is one of those moments in cinematic history that becomes cemented in our culture as a big fucking deal. Mm-hmm. And it earned that right. And I think it still holds that place in my heart as being as big of a deal. This is one of the few things that lived up to its own hype. And probably honestly exceeded it in a lot of ways.
I mean, maybe I wasn't like the target audience for like the traditional marketing of it, but I mean, I feel like I missed a lot of the marketing. I mean, it was one of those where it's like I found out about it from other kids.
Sure. Yeah, and then now I worked in a toy store, so we had stock of all of the Jurassic Park toys, and it was Kenner Toys, which is featured prominently
in the video
game. We had all that stuff stocked and ready to rock for when the movie released. You know, they blitzed it, so I was hyper aware of it.
I had
at the time.
Toys. You better believe I had them toys.
Yeah, I believe it. I had some of them.
Someone
I had
Dicus.
The dinosaurs
He showed
were
me.
cool. They had that T-Rex where you could rip some of his skin off. See the muscle underneath.
I remember
like that. Battle damage.
That's really all I've got about the movie. I feel like we covered that pretty extensively.
Yeah, man. I love this movie. It fucking rules. I still love it.
It's timeless. It's always going to be good.
Henry-
Always. Every time I
think
see it.
It's probably the best movie we've done so far.
It's up. It's
I
up
would
there,
have
if not
to
the
agree.
best. The only reason I'm not being like hell yeah is because I can't remember all of the movies we've talked about. But
I don't
yeah.
think we've had anything really of this magnitude
Yeah.
that is so universally well
Right.
liked.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a very true statement, Tyler. But then with all good things, there must be a side of it that may or may not be considered so good. And in this case, since we are a video game podcast, we did play, and we're going to talk about now the Super Nintendo game of Jurassic Park.
Right. Which we talked about the Genesis version before.
Right.
Yes?
Yes.
I feel
Yes.
like we did.
And you had also
very
done
long
Jurassic
time
Park 3.
ago. 2. The Chaos
Was it
Continues.
2? Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Because I feel like the Genesis version matches the tone of the game.
The movie, you mean?
The movie.
Yeah, I agree.
This, on the other hand,
In no way, shape, or form matches the tone of the
because
movie.
there's just it's the archaeologist who loves dinosaurs
Running
just
around murdering
the fucking shit out
with
of dinosaurs.
rocket launchers and bola balls and shotguns and
Yep.
missiles and gas. This is more of a video game about that hunter dude.
Muldoon.
Muldoon.
Yeah.
That
than
would-
an
that
Alan
would've been more
Grant. That would have
appropriate.
made more sense.
It would have made more sense. For sure. I didn't play this game as a kid, but I always wanted to. I played the Genesis version. I liked it a lot. Going back and playing it is like,
Yeah.
Right.
it's rough. And then it's like, is the only reason I liked the Genesis version because I could play as a raptor?
Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes. The Alan Grant levels, even though I thought
And
it
there
was
are more of them.
yeah, I know. And I thought it was cool that in the Genesis version of the game, they take scenes from the book that weren't in the movie, like that raft level. There's a whole thing with the raft in the book, a
Yep.
whole thing. And then there's the atrium. There's a whole thing about the atrium in the book. And it's like, so I thought that was neat that they pulled source material from the book to pad the Genesis
That is
version of the
cool.
game. But yeah, the Super Nintendo version's completely different. It's a top-down. It's like an action RPG almost.
Yeah.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It is visually reminiscent to Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
I think it's more visually. I honestly, it reminds me more of Zelda than like a
Same.
Zombies.
Yeah, me
it
too.
It feels to me like Ocean developed and published this, I believe. Ocean developed and published this. It felt to me like they were like, let's make Zelda, but it's Jurassic Park, and I honestly like the idea of like an open world Jurassic Park.
It was a neat concept.
I like that aspect of it. I wish it was bigger. I wish it was like the whole island.
Yeah.
And I wish that it was easier to navigate because it's a park. The signs in the park don't make sense.
They
Like,
point you at
Oh,
nothing.
yeah.
find a goddamn Tyrannosaurus
Ain't no
because I was like,
way.
I got to find a Tyrannosaurus so I can talk about it on the show. I'm following every sign that pops because there's signs.
Yeah, there's
like
little
if you would
signs
see in a
with
park.
arrows. Yeah.
Tyrannosaurus, right arrow. And it's like, okay, I'll go right. And it's like, I never get to the Tyrannosaurus. It reminded me of Zelda in the same way that like Yoda stories on Windows reminded
Okay,
me
yeah.
of Zelda, where it's just like a developer just wants to make a Zelda clone and like slap a,
FPS on top of it.
yeah.
So this game, it has two modes.
Yeah.
So you've got the top-down version, which it's very Zelda-esque. You're going through the park. You're killing dinosaurs. And your dungeons are interior levels that are done in a first-person shooter
Fuck
format,
me.
like
Wolfenstein 3D.
Wolfenstein, Doom style. And it is big, and you could tell
I
that
didn't
they had
expect it.
trouble with it because they had to make it as if you're wearing goggles the whole time because
Which-
they could only fit on screen. They couldn't fill the screen with all of this first person stuff.
Right.
So they shrunk it down, which was clever.
I feel like it's a clever, idea,
but
it doesn't make up for it being
doesn't make up for any of it.
The gameplay is horrendous.
It's absolutely abysmal.
And it
just the weird blurry pixelated dinosaur at a distance and the way that it
oh man, and then they just stand there too.
They stand there unless they don't, in which case they're right on top of you eating your face. It's dark. In some places it's pitch black. You have to have night vision, which makes it even worse because it's all green.
20 and just shake it, baby.
Yes.
The way the pixels just come at you.
Stupidly easy to get lost. You have
Laggy.
no way, no sense of direction, no map, nothing.
No.
And the object of what you're supposed to be doing in the dungeon, I say dungeon, you know what I mean?
No, it
is not clear. Like it's not. It's confusing, and it adds. Plus, and that in and of itself, it becomes so repetitive because they all look the same,
right?
Because they can't have.
And you got to find a key card. Everyone, it seems like you got to find the night vision goggles so you can go in the room and find a key card. Does this key card open any of the doors in this building? No, it doesn't.
One.
So you got to go to
that's where you store
building.
key cards in other buildings.
Right.
For other buildings. Yeah.
Well, maybe the Raptors took it in there. Maybe that's a Raptor thing.
You know how sometimes you take the remote in the bathroom accidentally?
Yeah.
That's what the Raptors did.
One of the neat things about the dungeons was they had these little kiosks that you could try to get into, and if you could get in, you could control the different functions of the park, like the gates being able to be opened.
I didn't know that.
The motion sensor, which so in top-down version, down at the bottom dead center bottom of the screen, there's an obvious like radar screen,
right?
And at first nothing's on it.
Right.
It's like, why is this fucking even here?
Yeah, I know. You found the reason.
Eventually, you in one of these kiosks, you can turn on the motion sensors in the park. When you get the motion sensors turned on, then that radar starts to show you when there's a threat nearby, and you can kind of see.
Okay.
So that was neat.
That is neat.
If you don't know what you're looking for, I watched a long play, by the way. I did not do all this on my own. But
I couldn't get anywhere in this fucking game.
I had a lot of trouble.
The Raptors
moving.
are fucking my shit up. Like jumping out of bushes. Like they hit me twice before I can do fucking anything against them.
Me too.
I played it for an hour, which is usually that's the time limit. Where it's like I'm gonna play it for an hour.
Yeah.
If I end up enjoying it, I'll play it for more. When I turned this on and started playing it, I had like a shitload of fun for 8 minutes.
Yep.
And then that 52 minutes remaining to play dragged on and on. Like, I mean, it was like
it gets old fast.
Real fast.
Yep.
Because it's like I got tired of the overhead Zelda style gameplay 8 minutes in.
Yeah.
And then I found the first person Doom style, and it was like, holy shit, this is it's unbearable.
Truly.
It's also kind of heartbreaking because it's like
it was ambitious.
It was ambitious, and it feels like they were like, would it be really cool if it would switch to this mode and all of a sudden it's like a first-person shooter? And I think the answer to that is maybe, but like not on the Super
Nintendo.
I mean,
absolutely.
Know your limits.
This was way ahead of its time.
It's the Master Chef contestant who really wants to impress Gordon Ramsay and does something really fucking stupid.
Right, exactly. They overreached. That was the problem, because at its core, this was actually a cool concept for a game, and I would have, if it had been on a different system, if it had been a modern game, if they would redo it with a modern game and maybe remap it, I think it would be fun.
I would love to play like a straight up old school but modern top down like RPG. Like it is an RPG. It can be action or turn based, whatever. I mean, honestly, I think it should be like where you don't want to fight a dinosaur. So maybe it's even like a survival
Survival horror.
Yeah.
Where
And what Dino Crisis is the only thing that even touches
And I
that
haven't
realm.
played that. I really want to, but I haven't played Dino Crisis.
This would be a neat concept for the style of game like Friday the 13th, where
Like an
someone
asymmetrical.
plays the raptor and everyone else is trying to hide and get away, and you have advantage, and
Yeah.
you and two other people are the raptors, so you
Setting
can always
traps and
attack
shit.
from the sides and stuff, or trap the raptors, and I think that would be neat. It's like the movie was so ambitious and achieved what could be considered the impossible at the time. And the game set out to do that same thing and failed because it just didn't have the hardware to do it.
Well, there are also us talking about like potential Jurassic Park games and like the survival horror.
Yeah.
That might exist. There are so many fucking Jurassic Park games.
This is true.
That I just like. I hear that they're out and I don't even look. I'm like, I just assume it's gonna be trash. I don't even look at it, and it's like I figure, well, if it's good, someone will tell me about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you on that for sure. And I think it's just like, I think this is the time when they had the chance and they wanted to make this really excellent game. For once, they cared. I think they really gave a shit.
It felt like it.
I think they wanted to make a game that would truly represent the theme of the movie, but they weren't able to do it.
But they don't want to watch the movie.
Right. Listen, one of the things, so I had said, I like the graphics not in the first person. I like the graphics of the overhead part.
Yeah, I did too.
Good color.
Yeah.
Good sprite size, good movements, all that kind of stuff. There was not one iota of Jurassic Park music in this entire game.
It was all
Music
like
was
90s,
weird.
90s, like
groovy, but it was not
It would
appropriate.
phase through in weird ways when you enter new areas and stuff.
I thought some of it was good.
It was
I just
groovy
didn't
ass
think- I just
music.
didn't think it was like fitting. For
I was
Jurassic
bebopping.
Park.
I was bebopping, but I think one of the main reasons this game doesn't feel like a Jurassic Park game is because we didn't even touch on the fact of how iconic the fucking music and the theme for Jurassic Park is.
Yeah.
And this was not even.
How
it
about the
was
Welcome to Jurassic
nowhere.
Park that we got when you walk into the
Oh gosh.
just some welcome
Some
to,
rando.
Jurassic
Welcome
Park.
to Jurassic. It was clear, at least I could hear it.
It's like the land shark welcoming you to the Jurassic Park.
Did they get the rights to show like all the actors except for Richard Attenborough? Because he did not. That wasn't him, right?
No, I don't think so.
He popped up and I was like, Nosferatu. Like,
But it sounded like his voice.
it did.
Mr. Grant. Also, throughout the entire thing, it was Mr. Grant.
Yeah.
Mr. Grant on
Not
the little,
doctor.
not doctor. And I just, that bugged me that, like, even Ellie, so like, when you walk through some areas, especially in the first parts of the game, these gigantic information cards fill up the entire
stay there
screen.
entirely too long.
And they
It's
stay
like,
too long.
Oh, shit, a raptor's attacking me. Well, good thing I got this giant card in front of me with Tim on it.
Don't shoot the other ones; they'll stampede. It's like, not now. What is your problem?
As they're stampeding over me, it pops up.
Yeah, really. Yeah, and it's like I didn't shoot them. They're stampeding, and I didn't shoot them. What the fuck? Like, get out of here with that garbage.
You showed him dirty looks. I told you.
I think this game actually would have felt better if it had had the music.
Yeah.
It needed it. It needed that music, just like I think the movie needs that music.
Yeah, for sure.
It's iconic. It's part of the whole package, and to just have this, it was like completely inappropriate music for the. It's like, this isn't supposed to be groovy and fun.
Right.
This is deadly dangerous. I'm getting eaten and shocked.
I have a bolt of lightning frying tiny dinosaurs on the ground.
I love that they had the compies in it. I
The
thought that was- I
compies,
thought that
yes,
was nice.
and you could.
Who were knocking me down and shit all the time.
Yep.
know,
You
I
could
know.
swat them. You could get them with your base weapon is an electrical prod. It shoots this gigantic arc of like Emperor style lightning out the front, which is a fun weapon. to at least to see, if not to use. And then you had a missile launcher,
Yep.
a shotgun.
I love the bolas.
The bolas were great.
The exploding bolas.
They would kill everything instantly. Just like
Shotgun,
lots of weapons,
trank rifle.
gas grenades.
Yeah, but you could only hold like one of each type. Like there's two types where it's like you can hold a shotgun or a trank rifle, but not both, which I think is kind of interesting. I don't know if they were going for like.
You could cycle between them.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But I think you could still only have like. You would have like the prod and then the shotgun. No, you'd cycle between the prod and the shotgun.
Right.
But in your other slot, it would be the bola balls or
Right. It was just
something.
one.
Yeah.
Right. And I think I will, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that it was just the prod and the shotgun, or the prod and the trank rifle.
I think you're right.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I think you're right, actually.
I thought I had the shotgun and the gas grenades.
Those take up
Those
different
would
weapon
take up different
slots.
slots.
Yeah.
You could have the shotgun and the bola ball, but not the shotgun and the rocket launcher.
Right.
Because the shotgun and the rocket launcher would be in the same slot. And it's like, it was confusing.
Well, let me
It's
ask you guys:
confusing.
if you right in front of those stampeding dinosaurs on the ground, there's like an R.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I thought,
kept trying to pick it
do I
up.
have to pick up Jurassic and get a life? So like they're stampeding all over me, and I'm trying to pick up the R. Like
It's a glitch, I think, because it was in the long play that I watched, and the guy completely ignored it.
I swear I spent like a minute trying to pick up that R, and like, well, maybe I need to get from this side. No, because there's a pickup button, and
Yeah.
there's an animation where it's like, I
is
don't
it like
know.
Donkey Kong? I spell it Kong, I get an extra life.
Right.
Like Jurassic or Grant. I don't know what I'm trying to spell.
There was a lot of things in it. Like, I didn't like the fact that there were no other characters to play. It's just Dr. Grant, it's Alan Grant, and that's it. I think it would have been neat if they could have had different levels, different places where you got to play as the kids or play as Ellie Sattler. Like when you go, say you are going to go into the, raptor cage thing, well, you got to find only Ellie Sattler can go in this and find her to play in that. And maybe she has a different skill set. Maybe she can move a little
Right.
faster
or like
something.
they have to work in tandem where it's like you have to switch back and forth. One has to like open a gate
and
or
then
something,
the other goes through. I think that would have been neat. I also thought when I was watching this long play, the guy that he went into the visitor center where all the shit is. There's all the health packs and all the guns and weapons and
Lines
ammo. He goes into the kitchen area, and when he walks into the refrigerator, it's misspelled. Refrigerator is spelled with a D. Refrigerator.
Fridge is a D, but not refrigerator.
So I thought that was funny.
I have an
there was
answer.
an obvious misspelling.
If you want to hear it
yes.
about the letter R.
R.
It is weird.
Okay.
This is from a site called tapatalk.com.
Tap Dog?
Tap Dog.
Our sister site, Tap Dog? Why didn't they tell us?
They say throughout the game there are letters scattered around the ground on the overworld, except for there's a D in one of the 3D first-person shooter segments of the game. The rumor around the internet has been for several years that there was supposed to be a contest that if you found and photographed all the letters and figured out what they spell when arranged correctly, you could win a contest. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters. It is DEHNORRR. Yes, there are 3 R's in 3 separate locations. It doesn't seem possible to make a word or name out of this, says the site.
Well, they couldn't spell. It was a refrigerator.
Wouldn't that be great? If it was-
Refrigerator.
whatever it was misspelled. And that's
there are
why
3
they
R's
didn't
in
make a contest out of it. They're like, oh, fuck, well, we already coded
Well,
it.
don't tell anybody. The people won't care.
Marketing's not going to like this. Then someone else says on Game Facts, the post title is "Random Letters," and they ask, "What are with the random letters I find on the ground and can't pick up?" And the top answer is they spell out the name of a person Michael Crichton used to help write the book Jurassic Park. Apparently figuring this out was some kind of contest when the game was first released.
Weird.
It's a code you put
That
in the
is
beginning
weird.
and you can play as General Leo.
I don't know. I mean, who the fuck would figure that out?
I don't know.
Not me, for sure.
I don't know.
It's an otherworldly, like, chthonic monster
it's some
with the
Ready
3
Player
R's
One
in its
shit.
name.
The
The King in
Gunters.
Yellow actually.
Yeah, right. That's gonna be my next Call of Cthulhu character name. It's gonna be right.
It's the sound a chainsaw makes.
Cuts off Phyllis's head.
Shit. Yeah. So it's a bad.
It's not a great game.
It could have been worse.
It
could have been
worse.
worse.
And
We've
it couldn't
played
have
worse.
been better on what they wanted to do. I think they just proved that they weren't ready for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
This game wasn't ready for the system it was made for.
And they missed the spirit of the movie, like
Absolutely.
entirely.
I agree.
Well, he's an
100%.
archaeologist. He only likes bones, so he's
Yeah.
gonna turn them all into bones.
I agree. It misses the tone of the movie. However, as a fan of the movie and the book, I do really like the idea of having like an open world.
I do too.
Jurassic Park. Like I think that's cool, and I think that's a cool concept. But yeah, you're right. They don't do a good job of actually capturing the tone of the movie.
Sim Jurassic Park would be fun.
I think they've got like a Jurassic Park,
Like a theme park
branded-
builder.
Yeah, builder.
Like a sim amusement park
I
thing.
think they
That would
do.
be cool. Yeah.
Did you guys have any achievements?
Oh boy. Do I?
Hold on to your butts.
That wasn't one of mine.
Mine either. Honestly, I was joking earlier.
I just stopped making them.
You probably have a lot of. The
I have a
same
lot.
ones
I
as me.
guarantee you I do. I stopped making them because I knew I could do this for the whole thing. So many. This is such a quotable
There's
movie.
so many lines in this movie that are quotable.
All right, so I'm going to start off with. Tyler, actually, could you hand me a pen?
My pen.
My pen, my pen.
I don't want you to say what I'm writing right here, Dave. I'm going to give this to
Can
you.
I? Oh, okay.
I want you to read it. When
You're
I
drawing
give
to
it
the bush. I know it.
All right,
Okay.
ready?
Yeah.
Not yet.
I'm not gonna.
Don't
I'm not.
read it yet.
Don't read it out loud, or don't read it. Read
Read
it.
it, but don't read it out loud yet.
Okay.
Don't read it out loud.
Read it
yet.
in my
I'll let
mind.
you know when it's time. Okay.
Okay.
And you know what I want you to do when you've read what I wrote.
I
You
read
know
it.
what I want you to do.
Yeah.
right?
Are you Quartet? Can you speak with a
We have shared Kef. He knows what I want. My first achievement is he did it. The crazy son of a bitch did it. And to get
my
he
first
did it.
achievement.
He did it. The crazy son of a bitch did it is figure out how to open the door to the compound using the electric prod after wandering around for 10 minutes. You use your little electric prod weapon as a power source to open the gate, and I couldn't figure that out. It took me forever, and I finally figured it out, and I thought, well, I probably am not going to play this much longer, but at least I figured that out on my own. So there's that. My next achievement is...
Shooter!
And to get
Shooter!
you one-shot kill the fast-moving velociraptors in the early stage of the game with either rockets or bola balls.
Those fucking bola balls, man.
They're fucking great.
Yeah.
They were like the spread weapon in Contra. Like that good. They were that good.
Yep. Or the snitches in the Dark Tower. I don't know them from anything else.
Snitches. Me neither. Harry Potter model.
they're light swords.
Yep.
I have thoughts. Just we'll get there. When we talk about
Have I not gotten there?
the Dark Tower, we will get
Okay.
there.
I've got 8 hours left in Wolves.
Okay. My next achievement is this is a Unix system. I know this.
I knew this. I knew this was coming up.
Access all of the consoles and the FPS levels on the first try. My next achievement is stand perfectly still. Their vision is based on movement.
Is that lose your cursor on the second monitor?
No,
Okay.
but it is beat the game without activating the motion sensors so that your radar comes on.
That's good. I like that.
My next achievement is Vegisaurus. And to earn Vegisaurus, you shoot at the galliums so they stampede, despite several repeated warnings from Tim Murphy to do not that. And then my last one is Life Finds a Way. And to get Life Finds a Way, continue playing after losing all your lives.
Are there unlimited continues? I never.
There's two.
Oh, okay.
I didn't go past two, so I don't know. But Life finds a way. Yep.
Those are good. I
Thank
like
you.
those a lot.
Thank you for your help with my
Of
achievements.
course. Thank you for including me. I feel honored. Yeah, I've got a couple. The first of which is you did it. The crazy son of a bitch, you did it. And mine was just beat the game because I don't think that you got to collect all the eggs. I guess we have to talk about the goal of the game, but it's
You're
like
collecting
I found
Velociraptor
one egg.
eggs
Yeah.
so that they don't reproduce.
so they want you to explore and find the eggs. And I found some.
The long play for this was 2 hours 8 minutes.
Wow, that's a longer game than I thought.
I got really bored watching
I
it.
bet.
Yeah,
It's
so
a
I
lot.
stopped.
It's kind of
but-
samey, huh?
Yeah, it's the same shit over and over, and yeah, you're just trying to get raptor eggs that are scattered about.
My next achievement is T-Rex. You said you have a T-Rex. In order to unlock T-Rex, you said you have a T-Rex. I guess find the T-Rex. I hear there's one in the game. I saw the signs for it. Wanted to find it. Couldn't find it. I hear they have a T-Rex.
I wanted to see it too because you know it's enormous.
Has to be.
It takes up the whole screen. Right?
It better.
Yeah.
So
I hope it's the Joe and Mac T-Rex. Like, this is the goofy bug.
That's a win. That's a win.
It's
Put
better
that in
than
the list of how to make this game better. Next achievement is Must Go Faster. In order to unlock Must Go Faster, try playing the 3D first-person shooter sections with the Super Nintendo mouse to see if you can go faster. Probably can't. Probably much worse experience. But
Probably.
you can do it.
Yep, I knew it was mouse compatible because you get a mouse cursor when you start the game. Also, fun
That's
fact.
what that was.
That mouse sucks so bad.
Yeah,
It's horrible.
I've heard horror stories about that.
It's
thing.
got a 25-cent bouncy ball inside of it. So
Fun fact about Must Go Faster.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum says that same exact line again in Independence Day when he and Will Smith are escaping the mothership, fully aware that he was saying that same line from Jurassic Park. He did that on purpose.
Nice.
So, love that line. Must Go Faster.
My last achievement is Spare No Expense.
Yes.
In order to unlock Spare No Expense, you buy a new copy of Jurassic Park for the Super Nintendo, unwrap it, put it in a Super Nintendo, and play it.
Okay.
How much do you think that is? If you were to buy it new on average, according to PriceCharting.com.
Damn. Will that affect whether or not Tyler and I are going to be able to figure out what it's worth used?
Probably not.
$600.
$600 dues.
$500.
$500 dues. This is a steal. I don't know if this is average. I said average, but I can't get the average on this. The most recently one sold for like $200.
Okay.
Quite a bit.
That's pretty good.
hefty.
New in box. That's not bad.
Since I've never seen a frame of this game ever,
Right.
I assumed.
Tyler, do you have any achievements?
I've got 4.
Nice.
First one is don't say the R word and die trying to pick up that fucking R. The second one
Refrigerator being the R word.
Nice.
the second one being curve these bullets. Kill
You
10
expected John to be here?
Because that's the difference between John and I. He's talking about how awesome he loves the real science in Red October. Meanwhile, I'm watching that goddamn movie like, yeah, curve the bullets. They should do that more often. Kill dinosaurs with 10 of the bola guns because they're curving them bullets like in a circle.
Yes.
Let's see. Was it worth it?
Let me work it.
Put your flame down, flip it. Die 10 times trying to get health kits. Because, man, those raptors at the beginning, I'm trying to jump over the electric little floor there.
God.
Oh, health kit. All right. Fucking swarm by raptors.
Yeah, it's a trap.
Movie accurate raptors in this game. That is the closest they got to movie accuracy. And Alan Grant's hat. That was accurate.
And he gets shocked. I mean,
when he dies, his hat is on his chest.
Yeah. Did you guys get electrocuted in the game?
Several times. Because everything's electrified in that motherfucker. You can
Except the gates. That
Right.
set the gates that you need to open
My last one
with
being,
electricity.
no fear Sharptooth, fear Three-Horn. Die from that fucking Triceratops.
You gotta
fucking bowling over
They
you.
give
Damn,
you,
you
they give you like a little notchy.
Yeah, then you
little
duck
notch
into.
to
I saw
duck
that
into, but-
after I died like twice.
Damn, I didn't get to the Triceratops either.
He's just a random thing.
It's in a random, like, if you jump across the river,
I got across the river.
and there's like just a little on the side path in the jungle to where I'm like walking down it, and all of a sudden just boom, 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 dead.
right before Ellie Sadler comes on and says, "Watch out for the Triceratops."
Thanks, Ellie.
That's all I got for achievements.
I loved them.
Those are great.
All good
Let's
achievements.
see what Flopsy has to say.
Yeah, what do you guys think? Does Flopsy have good things to say about Jurassic Park for
I
the
think
Super Nintendo?
because it's a franchise game, I think they're going to be overly friendly to it. I don't think it warrants this, but I believe that Flopsy is going to give it 3 stars because of how ambitious it was. Not that you asked me to weigh in on why they give it 3 stars.
Yeah, no, I love it. This
But
is
I think it's going to be big movie, super ambitious,
Big prizes.
a bit limited, but still a great effort. 3 stars. And
Check it
Wiz and
out.
Say says check it out. And I'm going to say uncommon.
okay.
Damn. I'm torn between common and uncommon, being that this is no, I'm changing my answer. Common. 3 stars common.
Did you open my mind door? I feel like you opened my mind door.
It's Kev.
I feel like 3 stars is probably a good choice, but I'm going to deduct a half a star saying they shit on it for the first person, Wolfenstein shit. So 2.5 stars. And just because, like, this completely fell off my radar, I'll pick up that uncommon.
Okay.
And say 2.5 stars uncommon.
I don't know how they felt about it. It's tough because it's like those first-person shooter segments are so
They're bad.
They're-
Even
they're
the
shit.
Chex Quest.
even
was
the
better,
most
better
generous
in that regard.
Yeah. Even the most generous reviewer has got to acknowledge how bad that was. But I think that half star is going to come from their ambition.
Yeah.
From the mixing of the
Yeah, I
styles.
could totally see that.
Phantasy Star 1 on the Master System had better first person, like, move around and shit than that was.
God, it's bad. Headache inducing.
I think 3 stars. But I'm gonna go very common. Man, there's no they had to. If it's Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
it's Jurassic Park. I mean,
I forgot about the varies.
I feel
you
like
might be right.
I mean, I don't even know if have we had a very common before?
I feel like we have.
Okay.
Like
Maybe.
Mario or some
Probably,
shit. Like
yeah.
Probably.
That was, yeah.
But yeah, that's what I think. If very common exists on their scale, I'm going very common. And 3 stars can't be better than that.
That's the high star. That's the high stars you can
Can't be
get.
better than that. According to Flopsy, aka the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the SNES Library, 1991 through 1998, by Pat Contry, courtesy of Monster Mole Mike, and a shadowy, mysterious benefactor. Flopsy gives it 3.5 stars.
Oh, too much. Too much.
Too much. Took too much. Availability is very common.
Okay. Well, at least you got that.
At least I got that. Man, it's Jurassic Park,
Which is nice.
which is nice. Got that going for me. The reflections here from reviewer DG says Jurassic Park is one of the titles I enjoy picking up once I've forgotten where to go and what to do.
Okay.
That didn't make sense to me.
He's had a really hard time in
It's
his
a life
life.
anchor for him. That is not a good life anchor, brother.
Okay, gotcha. So
Or
he forgets
sister.
what to do in the game and then he plays it again.
Okay.
This is what it seems like. Like many adventure games, half the appeal is trying to survive while discovering those things. Yes, that is true. In this way, it succeeds, albeit with a caveat. The game is not terribly long for the experienced player, but it's long enough that a save feature would have been welcome. Yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
Man, I'm just scanning to see anything about the first person stuff. They do talk about the Kenner Toy Company putting their logo in the game. Nope.
Okay.
Nothing in the review about the horrible.
He didn't get there then.
Yeah, he forgot. He kept forgetting about it because it was so
fucking
bad.
Weird that is completely left
It
off.
might have been. It might have been in the full review. I didn't read the full review.
Yeah.
Just the reflections. But man, I feel like
I'd
that's
put it in the
warranted in the
reflection.
reflections because
Yeah.
it is the weakest point of the game, in my opinion.
It's one of the weakest points of any game that we have played. That is one of my least favorite things that we've encountered since I've been hosting with you guys. It was terrible, fucking terrible.
No good, very bad.
Yeah, it was disappointing for sure.
Not great.
The game would have been better, I think, if it had just been a straight Zelda clone.
Hard agree.
Yeah. We got to do the thing with the pricing, right? Did you?
Yeah. How much do you think you guys would pay for this loose?
I mean, with it being very common, I'm going to say $8.95.
$8.95.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tyler?
I don't know. I still want to skew a little high. I'll say 10.
$10. Actual retail value of Jurassic Park loose for the Super Nintendo on average, according to pricecharting.com at the time of this recording, is $9.50. Gentlemen, well done. Honestly,
almost
split the difference. You got it pretty much.
I'm getting better.
Hell yeah.
Before we get to our beards and glasses, I want to read Brad's email, so I'm not reading it after I've already said all the executive producers and stuff.
Yeah.
Finally remembered. I meant to do this at the beginning when I was searching for things to talk about. Hi, all.
Hello.
My mom would do this thing where we talk about doing something for me, and then it would just kind of fade away and never happen. She said for weeks we'd take she said for weeks we'd take our neighbor's twin sons, two of my best friends growing up, and me to see Jurassic Park. As I remember, this was supposed to be for my birthday, which is in October, which makes this weird because Jurassic Park came out in June. And of course, this just kind of never happened. Stuff never happened unless I nagged and made it into something that eventually made her angry. My wife loves this trait about me today. Not much is important to me, but if it is, I will not shut the fuck up about it. Anyway, fast forward to my birthday in 1994, and my dad gets me Jurassic Park on Laserdisc. I suspect this happened because he forgot to send back the "Don't send me this movie" card from Columbia House and was stuck with the movie, and he was broke. So here's your birthday present you didn't ask for.
That's pretty good.
It is
pretty good birthday present.
Good Laserdisc Jurassic Park. I bet that's worth more than $9.50.
Yeah, probably.
I watched it once, and then my stepdad took it to his electronics store so it could be used to demo home theater setups for customers, and I never saw it again. And that's the story of how I've seen Jurassic Park once on Laserdisc in 1994. I read the book probably a dozen times, though. Great book.
Yeah.
Here's the game. Nintendo Power had one of the less positive reviews, which is weird. They gave a particularly low score for play control, stating impressive graphics effects and some gameplay elements that incorporate aspects of the hit movie. Negative. The interior areas present few puzzles and it's easy to get lost.
I love they call them prison areas. That seems way accurate.
The interior areas present.
Oh, damn it.
Few puzzles.
I misunderstood you. My mind was like, he meant prisons.
I
feel like prisons.
I jumped ahead and put the word present, and it sounded like prison. Sorry.
No, I think it was me.
Edge, let's see. Edge termed the Sega game dire. I agree with this. My first time seeing that I hate cinematic platformers, and gives this game a 6 out of 10. To begin with, a lot of time is spent aimlessly wandering around and avoiding the dinosaurs. Very little help is given in which direction you should be going and exactly what you should be doing. We agree with this. Overall, the action is inconsistent and the game leaves an impression of uncertainty. It doesn't quite know which way to go. There's no time limit given to complete the tasks, and as a result, there's no real urgency. God, if there'd have been a time limit on this, that would have been awful.
Yeah.
You're given too much freedom, and the outcome of this is that you'll find yourself just wandering around in a haphazard sort of way. Nevertheless, given the quality of the most film tie-ins, Jurassic Park is one of the better licenses. With slightly improved game design, it could have been the best. So
Man, that is a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as licensed games go.
So what I was saying earlier, they clearly gave a shit. It just didn't have the chops to pull it off.
Like, I think it's way better than Terminator.
Oh boy, is it?
Yeah, no, that's definitely true.
Anyway, that was Brad's email. So there you go. Later, Brad from Arizona.
See you, Brad. Thank you.
Thank you for the email, Brad. And I'm sorry about your Jurassic Park movie watching experience.
Yep. I will say,
crappy.
man, I do use that trick, though, where it's like, man, Henry will ask for something, and it is like the sheer volume of stuff that you ask for, things that you ask for. I don't say this to him. This is me thinking.
Right.
It's like, if it is important to you, you will say it again. I gotta there's like a system where it's like I gotta filter, like, how important is this really? You know, or it's like if he brings it up more than once, it's like, okay, no, it's in a separate category. Things he brings up once, unless it's super convenient,
Passing fancy. Yeah.
it's not gonna happen,
Right.
Because it's unless I mean, if it's something more than like, because he'll ask for things where it's like, hey, can I go to the park in 5 minutes with 8 of my friends? And it's like, no. No. That's a thing we gotta like.
It's gonna take you more than 5 minutes to walk there.
We gotta plan for that shit.
Yeah.
Dad doesn't do well with let's throw some fucking shit together involving
Right.
8 other parents.
Nah.
No.
That's what, Anna was the worst about that shit. So she wanted to go to a dance, a middle school dance or whatever. Let her go, take her to Benton to the Civic Center. She goes. Hour and a half later, she called. Could you come pick us up, me and 8 of our friends, drive us to the movies, let us see a movie, then take everybody home?
No.
No. You're there at the dance. See you at 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
She did that almost every time. It's never worked. It's never worked. It's not gonna happen.
No. It's crazy to me how it's like, I don't know, but it also, I have the perspective. I remember being his age.
Yep.
And just like, part of it though is like, I remember being his age and being bored the fuck out of my skull.
Right. Nothing to do.
But on the other hand, it's like, dude, you have so much you could do. Like, homie,
Literally no
my
such
options
thing
were
as
like,
bored.
watch Jurassic Park again.
I like the TikToks about like, oh, my kid in the car with a tablet and everything. Me excited, my favorite raindrop won the race down the window.
Yes.
Boy, I can relate to that. Holy shit.
Me too.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give Jurassic Park for the Super Nintendo a beard, what kind of beard would you give it?
The beard of Old Snake
The
from one
video
of the
game
Metal Gear
character?
Solids.
Okay.
Because you just roam around and just kill shit.
I hear you can kill Gygus with him.
It's a good callback. That's a good 2 hours ago callback.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a pair of glasses, what kind of glasses would you give it?
The black shades of Duke Nukem.
Shake it, baby.
Shake it, baby.
Shake it, Raptor. Brow, 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 brow.
I came here to kick ass and chew bubble gum. I'm all out of bubble gum.
Nice. Boy, there was another thing I was going to ask, but I sure as fuck can't remember what it is. Okay, here it is. Okay, so I know you weren't, when we talked about Jurassic Park 2, The Chaos Continues on the Super Nintendo, I know you were kind of cool on that. So I'm curious, between the two of those games, which you think is a better game, or which you would prefer? Or are they kind of the same, on the same level of quality?
I feel like this one probably has a little more playability.
Okay.
Because, I mean, that one was really bad.
All right.
Like, I remember getting further and understanding more in this one than that one.
Yeah.
That one just felt like the chaos continuing. Like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
Oh, got anything else, boys?
I think that about covers it as far as I'm concerned.
I'm good.
All right. So next week we'll do some drafts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help us out on Discord.
Give us some draft ideas.
Yes.
On
Yeah,
Discord.
throw them out there. We'd love to hear them.
.ly/TADPOG Discord.
You got it. Right on the money.
So we got lots of stuff going on, but thanks internet. Thanks internet. Thanks for listening.
Mm-hmm.
Shit going on. Most important shit though is that Patreon.
That's right. We have a Patreon, and if you'd like to donate to the show to help support what we do here, throw us $1, and you can get access to the bonus content we have. And if you keep donating that $1, eventually we will have more bonus content. We have a lot in the works, and we're going to be adding that hopefully soon once our schedules sort of line out and we have a little more time.
March, April are hard just because like the weather's getting
It
better
is. It's
and
tough.
everybody just wants to do shit like all of a sudden.
Absolutely.
Like my meetings and caterings and shit have gone through the fucking roof.
Yeah, so
June's going to be bad for me, too.
Yeah.
Let everybody know.
Keep in mind, yeah. Patreon.com/TADPOG if you'd like to do that. We do have a list of executive producers that donate $20 or more per month to the show. And I would be remiss if I did not go down the list of those executive producers. And they are in a very specific order for once. Cubicle Monkey, Plinko Nick Price, Usurper Grimm, Gamebug Prime Nathan Eaton, Pinball Airplane Archmage Chris Edler, sorry you couldn't be on this episode, Derek Pope Sandwich, Enthusiast Jeff Miners, Drinksmith Joey Webster, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, and last but not least, Louisville correspondent Princess Consuela Banana Hammock Flavor Trick, Taryn Dahl, congratulations on your marriage. Thank you all so much for your generosity.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. It's really, really nice of you to do that. I'd like to throw a shout out to Dane for working so hard every week to put our show up on YouTube. That's really nice of you to do, and we're glad every time you do it. Brad, once again, from Arizona, thank you for your email. And one personal note out to Drew. Sorry I couldn't join you in Overwatch last night. As soon as we wrapped up, I was about to quit. Drew hits me up with a message saying he wants to play, and I'm like, shit. I'll hit you up tomorrow. And then I remember tomorrow's Thursday. I'm going to be recording sometime, hopefully between now and the time this airs. Drew, I've had the chance to play Overwatch with you. But thank you all again for everything. Thanks for listening. Thank you for just being there and enjoying what we do, because we certainly enjoy it as well.
Our theme song is Moves on Sycamore Drive. Look at that track. Find the show notes at tadpog.com. How you guys want to close it out?
So many choices.
I know.
I mean, I guess Dr. Ian Malcolm.
I'm good with that.
So until next time,
Tropical.
Ted.
Capricorn.
Capricorn.
We'll find a way. TADPOG is hosted and produced by Tyler Holland, Dave Moore, and Ian Chandler. New episodes published Wednesdays each week and are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else podcasts are hosted. Have a question or comment for the hosts? Call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. If we like it, we'll play it on the show and respond. Want to send us something? You can do that at TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. If you absolutely absolutely must send us a food item, please use caution and good judgment when doing so. Tasty snacks that look or smell funky or are past their expiration date by the time we get to them will be thrown away. Bonus content is available at patreon.com/tadpog with a minimum donation of $1 per month. You can join in on the conversation by visiting our Discord at bit.ly/tadpogdiscord. Registration is free and we'd love to see you there. Thanks for listening, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our show so you don't miss an episode. Now, where did I put that stinger? Oh, here it is.
And now, a series of dramatic readings. Grab that stick. Lube your hand with spit. Lay down on your back. Now, it's time to whack. When a boner comes along, you must grip it to make the cream come out your dong. Just unzip it. Spooge out my penis, spooge on my tummy. It's a nice day for some wood whacking. It's a nice day to jizz again. Oh, baby, I masturbate every day. I want to tell you I masturbate every way. Want to beat my meat night and day. Aw, yeah. So horny to be here. So horny to be here.
Some good old Ricky Stanicky. Thank you, Tyler.
You're welcome.